Okay, I believe we're live now. I believe both streams are live. If I am to be believed. Yes, indubitably. They are both live today. Today we stream. What a crazy day it is to go live. What a joystick. It's been a while since we've gone live. So it's nice to actually get started. I realize the top one doesn't have... You can kind of see this here, but it's not as good. Okay, so we have some of the music, some fireplace going on here. T-Money, how's my Christmas? It was very good this year. It was very good. I spent with my family here. It was nice. I enjoyed it. Didn't really feel super Christmassy, weirdly, but, you know, maybe that's just me getting older. But, hey, I'm pretty happy with some of the gifts I got, though. As you may or may not see, I got an arm for this monitor, so I can actually have 3 monitors, which makes life a bit easier, so I don't have to make super tiny panels to view both chats and OBS. I can actually just view it in a normal way. But, yeah, it was a pretty good Christmas, though. How's yours? Hopefully yours was very good, Team Money. Hopefully your Christmas was very good. Honestly, it was nice taking a little break, and I started getting back into playing guitar a bunch and started working on some music for I'm not sure if I'm gonna do like an anime opening for Cozy Cabin Games, but I'm looking at trying to make at least some kind of anime opening for like Fight and Flight, whatever that name's gonna be. What's up, Draco? It's good to see you, Draco. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm thinking like. I think we're going to go more for a 90s anime vibe, which means the current anime music track I've made doesn't quite fit as well. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We still have to make a game first before I start worrying about that stuff, and there's a lot of things I need to figure out. I kind of want to explore something different today. We've been doing this geometry things, but I had a dream. Maybe not a dream, but I was thinking about it while I was sleeping, and I was like, you know what? It may be kind of cool to make... Instead of doing actual geometry, we can just do repeating textures, and do layers of that to kind of simulate depth and not make it as... Because with playing with my niece, I've been making my niece play this game a little bit, and she's finding that the controls of this, though the rotation is a bit too jarring. So I'm actually doing a few things. I made this wider. So the radius is bigger, so there's less rotation that actually happens on screen. Let me change this to be a normal aspect ratio. But yeah, so I'm kind of, but at this scale, right? It's like, okay, you can't really see the geometry there. So I almost want to try doing, like, we can make it bigger and everything, but I think the scale needs to be much smaller so this appears more further back. What game you're making? I'm making this 2D, 2.5D rotation like flight game. Yeah, that's what we're working on. Made some progress on my game and got buttons to work. Let's go, Draco. Win, I see the uncle sign too. Congrats. Mine was chill. Got a season pass snowboarding. Hey, let's go, dude. Snowboarding sounds sick. I've always wanted to try that. Yeah, my nieces gave this to me, so I'm very, very thankful. It's very sweet. But yeah, so today we're gonna do some visual stuff. We're gonna do some visual things. Is it in Blender? No, I mean, it was made in Blender. I'm not working on this though. I think what we're gonna do is make, I might disable these. And instead, because we could make this bigger and zoom it out and everything, but then it's gonna be, the scale is just it's too big for what it is. The individual elements need to be even smaller. So it's like honestly, maybe we just do texture. So I think I'm gonna disable all this stuff, and instead I'm gonna make a cylinder, and like this one, and I'm gonna try layering multiple spheres into this, or multiple like cylinders, and seeing how we have layered 2D elements on there, if that makes sense. And this is gonna be a normal material, like, I don't know. This, that seems fine. No. Yeah, cool. Subject art lighting, I think. So we're gonna try stuff. How's the testing going? Good day, bro. What's going on, isopods? Yeah, so I've been doing a lot more testing with my nieces, and as you can see, like, we have a default scroll speed now, because them having to manage forward momentum is like a thing. So it's a little bit too much of a cognitive load, right? I think with the last game they liked the simplicity of just choosing up or down. So I think this game will still afford that to them. But then people who know can choose to go faster and whatnot. So yeah, we're gonna try doing a few things here. I'm back a little later. Just saw you live. Had to stop by. Thanks, man. You have a good one, T Money. And what's up, Team America? I was thinking about you today. I was thinking because I was like, this game aside, there's another game I want to, after you get Fight and Flight done, I really want to try making, I really want to try going back to working on Dot Dungeon. And let me pull it up real quick. Dot Dungeon's another game idea I have. Or I worked on a while ago, and I've been wanting to revisit it. Yeah, we're gonna start instead of starting new projects, we're gonna go back and finish old projects. That's the plan here. This is Cozy Cabin Games. Now I want to go to this one here. Yeah, and media. Let's see if I can find it. I know I have some gameplay videos here of the game. Here we go. So you had this game where you had like it's like a dungeon crawler, and you had this dot board, and all the connections you make dictate what attack you're gonna do. So like if you connect the fire, the red ones, you get a fireball, and if you connect the gray ones, you get a sword attack, and the bigger the amount of chains you connect, the bigger the damage is going to be. And the reason I thought of you, Tamerka, is like, all right, I want to go back to this. But before it was just like this linear progression, which is fine, and maybe it's cool. But I kind of want to revisit it and make it actual, like, make a graph, a randomly generated dungeon. And to do that, I can make it randomly generated. I did that for Crimson Crown. But I kind of want to actually make fixed design dungeons where we just make a discrete connection graph of everything. And I was thinking through how I'm going to, like, if I go through working on this game eventually, how I would make a file format to serialize this data in a very kind of tight, lean manner. Which is why I thought of you when coming to fact. I already have an idea of how I want to go about it, but I was like, oh yeah, node graph. That's something that you're down about. Though this case is a bit more simpler because like I know the graphs, the nodes are always going to be of degree 4, but still, it's something kind of cool that I'd like to go back to eventually. But anyways, that's for the future talking. Right now, we have to get a game done. How's the testing going? And the test chiller I sent you, I'm gonna check it out in a bit. I don't really, I just need the high density one because we already validated that the shader works with the normal stuff. The biggest thing I'm looking at, and I feel bad, and I mentioned it earlier too, in testing this game with my nieces, I find that the geometry can be kind of not only distracting but also very kind of tricky. So I'm gonna make an iteration with just flat textures that are tiling. Also, I'm gonna change this like shade, like this grid thing. Here's what's going on here. Right now, my niece really likes the 2D version of this game, the old school 2D version. The issues with the 3D was that she didn't like the rotation. And specifically because it's kind of jarring. Both with the background details as well as just how fast the background moves. Move speed. So I'm trying to see if we can still keep the cylinder movement, because I like it a lot, but if it's not fun, it's not fun, right? So something I'm trying to do to address it is that I'm going to try a version of this with either we make the geometry much smaller, or we just do 2D textures, maybe bump maps or something, but 2D tiles, or yeah, just simple 2D cylinders with textures. And as for the background move speed, I've increased radius, so rotation is not so fast. So we're gonna try this out, and hopefully we'll see. Thank you, Inmez. What's going on, good things? You know, I always see stuff online about how advertising indie games is hard for people, but I always find that hard to believe because we have access to many different ways of advertising things, from just making a TikTok or Insta page for your game and posting pics like a story. Yeah, there's a lot of avenues that exist. There's also a lot of competition or occupying that space. But I think if you have a very focused niche, it much better work. It better works in your favor. But I don't know. I did that stuff for a long time and wasn't really getting much traction. And only through streaming did something started changing. And even then, I've been streaming for years. It's only this past 2 months or 3 months where things changed out of nowhere because of the shorts feed. But that's a whole different thing. Hello from India. Hello, Bhushan. Good to see you. Anywho, let me see. So we're going to try some stuff. Today might be kind of an art day, because I want to do a couple things. I want to do this. I want to do the VFD displays, or the 9-segment display for speed as well, so you can see how fast you're going. I think I'm going to do that plus an actual speedometer gauge, so there's a visual indication of how fast you're going, because I think, I didn't really think about it that much, but it's something that kind of merged. My niece really likes the original game, and I'd like this version to be something she likes as well. So, yeah, but keep in mind, reading at that age is not, it takes a little bit of effort. So as well as having numbers, I want to have some easy visual indicator that makes it very clear and obvious that this is what this is. So, 128 by 128. And we're almost going to approach developing this or doing this art as, here we go. What was it, Tyrion? Yeah, there's a side-scrolling game. No. Why do you do this to me? Oh, man. Tyrion game shooter. Yeah, I think I spelled it wrong. This one here. So I might approach it this way, where we have multiple layers of cylinder, so there's kind of this parallax effect that happens, but still keep it somewhat simple so it doesn't distract from the foreground elements. I don't know, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. In fact, I even have some test stuff we can use. So we're just gonna work with this and then go from here. New game? No, not yet. We're gonna get there eventually. I watch a lot of game stuff. I always stumble upon game trailers and new games, including this channel. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think the Game of Thrones... Well, I also spelled it wrong. It's Tyrion, not Tyrion. So I'm a little bit on the... at fault here. Okay, we have this shader. Now we're gonna do inverse for now. No, cozy light. Come on. Close this. FNF cylinder planar surface. Hey, there we go. Okay, and then sides are going to be much bigger. And then I might have to change. I'm sorry. What? Why is this popping up? I'm clearly clicking the. I'm clearly clicking the number, not that. Okay, is this like so much visual noise? Oh my goodness. What is going on? What is going on here? What is happening here? What went wrong? Okay, so I have to get it. I guess you have to make it smaller. That's not having the proper loop, so our cylinder planar thing is not quite working the way we intended it to. Or at least our coefficient is not good enough as is. It has to be like... Yeah, we have to modify this a little bit. I have this magic coefficient here somewhere. Yeah, this guy here. That we have to like do something different with. How does that work? Okay, that looks much more palatable. Yeah, there's probably some mathematical expression we can do to make it better, but this is close enough for me. Okay, it still feels a little stretched. We're gonna. Maybe you have to factor in radius to it or something. So about fixed design, about fixed design dungeon, are you thinking about splitting paths, which are all connected in the end? Why not make paths on a grid? That way graphs wouldn't be a primary data structure. I guess. I mean, I guess it's not really... A 2D grid wouldn't be that much... It wouldn't be... Here's the thing, right? Like, at the end of the day, whether I do a graph structure or a 2D array, the implications are not that big because the dungeons are not going to be humongous like that, right? Or maybe. Like, file size is not as crazy of a consideration. With a graph structure, it would be much more linear in terms of data, but the more the dungeon occupies more of the... Well, there's a few considerations, right? It's like the more the space the dungeon occupies, or the less empty space there is within the 2D grid, the less waste there is, in which case it's actually, you know, pretty good to use this. But I'm still gonna have to build like some kind of adjacency list, because I might have two things that are next to each other that shouldn't connect that are still next to each other, if that makes sense. So I'd still have to have some kind of structure that exists that indicates the relationships between the nodes. I just think that using a node structure might be easier. I don't know. That's the way I'm thinking about it, at least. But ultimately, like, the amount of data, like, if I'm gonna have a massive world, then like, and there's not, how should I say this? If it's gonna be a large enough world in terms of length, okay, let me better express myself. Let's Excali draw this. This is for a different game, but whatever. The more data that's kind of wasted there, because if we do a simple 2D struct and then we have like each slot contains, like each slot is like is not only a coordinate but also like a struct with information in there, then like if the actual graph is something like this, where it's like very long but it's actually dense in some places, but there's a lot of empty areas, then there's a lot of empty waste that exists. Especially like the more information we pack into individual cells of this, the more kind of not needed information there is. Now that being said, if it's not that much data, like modern phones and applications have a lot of memory to work with, so maybe it's just simple to do that. It's not a big deal, but I don't know. I think there's more information I could store in the graph structure of some sort. Design-wise, if you're going to, for semi-3D look, both methods are good. You can, yeah, it's gonna be a 2D game fundamentally. The cows or the goblins? The cows or the goblins? Oh, like on RuneScape? I mean, right now I'm winning. I've gotten better at. I've been killing so many big rats, dude. I used to run away from them. They used to aggro on me. Now I'm bigger, stronger. But yeah, no cows or goblins won. They all lost to me. Which, speaking of which, I kind of want to do some grinding, but let's try to focus a little bit. Because I've been grinding a little bit today. There's a quest I'm doing where there's like this level 26 thug dude. He's there, and I got bullied, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with this. We're not gonna handle this with disrespect. So I went to the rats and the frogs, and I started beating the brakes off of them. Okay, just leveling up, grinding. I went from like a level, I don't know, I think like 10 to 20. I think. Yeah, I think we grinded 10 levels of combat specifically. So I got 6 more to go until I can fight my schoolhouse bully and get that quest done, dude. It's not even part of the quest. I could probably sneak around it, but I just I'm on a mission, okay? We're on a mission. Also, I'm thinking about this. I'm going to duplicate it. We're going to make another version of it that's a little bigger, and we're going to do something here. We're going to do something here. Because I almost want to do like a map structure where it's like you know what, terrain maps, you have a few textures. You have something called a control texture that indicates what visual should be there. Should I be showing grass at this point? Should I be showing stone or whatever, right? And then you have the actual textures you're using for that. For something like this, I almost feel inclined to do that, where we have one texture that's meant to represent, hey, there's gonna be some empty spaces here, and then there's one that's gonna be this, and then one that's gonna be that. Oh, brother, it's gonna be so involved, though. I'm basically gonna have to recreate my terrain, the custom terrain editor, just to do this, which is dumb. It's an easy thing to do. Yeah, rats are great. Rats are great because you actually get meat from them. So I fight a bunch of rats, I get some meat, and then I cook him, and I get to level that up as well. And then after that, I eat, and I get my health back, and I go back to beating rats. Maybe a level 10 frog here and there, or a level 13 frog if we're a little spicier, but this is not pre-recorded, Locking Wiz, dude. Get out of here, man. What's your RAM and processor? Here you go. I mean, there's a system thing here. Command, which by the way, we have a help thing. What's up, Ponder? And what's up, Grundalizer? And a 90s PC? Not just a 90s peripherals. We got 64 gigs of RAM. And, what was it? How many threads we got going on here? Well, 24 virtual, but 12 actual cores. Is there nothing you get from stones or grass? What do you mean? Hola, what's up, Jocelyn? Good to see you, Jocelyn. What's up, Oscar Condor? Yeah, I'm thinking through this because I thought it was gonna be something very simple, but the more I think about it, the more there exists a potential to make it even more complicated for fun. Because you could always make things more complicated. And you know what? Honestly, it's not a waste, because if I don't use it here, I can always use it in another game at some point. So we're going to go to FNF, and then we have, what do we have here? We have, Oh man, exactly. Keep it simple. Okay. Yeah, RuneScape has started to invade more and more of my life. Like I started about a week ago, and I already have like 20 something hours in it, which is kind of a lot for me. I'm usually not. I don't like spending much time playing games, weirdly enough. But the thing is, like, I have it on my phone, and I could be anywhere, and I could just like pop it out and do some grinding here and there. So it's like I can. It's like the Green Goblin mask. It's always calling me. It's always calling me. It's always calling me, man. Okay, we can do, what are we gonna do here? I just want to prototype this. I don't want to commit too quickly to doing the thing I have in mind. And I'm trying to think of what is the simplest way to go about this. I'm gonna duplicate this. Cylinder, I don't know, layer. You can call this a layer. I don't think this is gonna be that hard. Famous last words, but I don't think this is gonna be that hard. So we have our, in fact, we're gonna keep it super duper simple, okay? Super duper simple. We're gonna have a main text and we're gonna have a control map. And then from here, actually, my goodness, control. There we go. And then where our texture is, control map. That should be the same thing as there. Cool. And then what do we go from here? What do you learn? Game development? Any course or website you can refer? Not really. I don't really, I never really learned that way. A lot of Googling, but the biggest teacher is just trying to work on a game project. Bro, how's World War One? RuneScape on a phone that exists? Yeah, it is. It does exist. Listen to this. All right, you want to see the thing that's been taking up so much of my time? What am I talking about? I have it in my recents. Look at this. Look at this peak. Honestly, I could just have it right now. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. And there's my dude. There's Sir Cozy. Sir Cozy's right here. And then we can just go kill some rats. And you can see how this becomes a problem. Like, I was in the movie theater watching a movie with my nieces, the new SpongeBob movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I popped it out a little bit once or twice just to, you know? Anytime not leveling is time wasted. Why would you not be grinding? Oh, let me probably eat. Yeah, you can see all my steaks I have here from rats. And this is my life. This is how we get to level 26 combat. And then we pick up the bones and this meat, and then we bury the bones because I don't know what it levels up, but it levels something up, and I like seeing the big number go up, so we're just gonna let that be. But yeah, this is this is how my life. This is how we live. Man. What's going on, TSD? What are we doing today? We're working on making 2D terrain, kind of like Tyrion, and seeing how that looks visually in game, and then maybe go from there. Getting sucked in already. Yeah, I'm getting stuck. This is crazy, because I'm not even an MMO guy. Like, I've tried a bunch of MMOs and I never committed to any of them. Maybe once or twice I'll do something and that's it. But RuneScape is kind of becoming a problem, man. Okay. That being said, let's talk about how we're going to implement this control map thing, because it's kind of has important implications. But I think, and I just need to visually understand how this works for me. So we have a shader. That's a program that dictates how the surface of an object is going to look. Oh my goodness. Please work with me. Thank you. And this shader has two main variables. We have right now these two textures that are, you can think about them as variables. They're called uniforms or properties in Unity. We have one called just the main text, which is going to be the visual. So like it could be a picture of a smiley face. And we have something called the control. Oh my goodness, stop. I don't know what's happening, but my machine's mouse control, we're going to shorten it down. You know, we're going to shorten it to this. CTL is control. That's what CTL means. So right now with this we have this cylinder that exists. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. My mouse, my Wacom tablet is not mapped correctly right now. And the way it's working is it's just tiling this. It's tiling this smiley face over and over again. So the smiley face is like, and it's gonna keep tiling, so on and so forth, like this, right? And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We like that. And the tile's down here as well. But the thing I want to change is that I want to mark certain areas to be transparent. So yeah, maybe we show some of the smiley faces here, but then over here for this section it becomes transparent. You can see the underlayer that exists. So you can see like this surface underneath this cylinder, and then maybe back here we get the transparency back, and this texture reappears. So that's what we're going to do with this texture, with this control texture. It's going to represent the areas that are going to display this and the areas that are going to be transparent. So maybe this is going to be opaque and this is going to be opaque, but this is transparent. So this would be like a value of, let's say, 1. And then these would be a value of like 0. And that's just how it's going to work. So that's the idea. That means the entire cylinder is going to have to map to this. Like this has to be superimposed onto the cylinder. And I have to get like unwrap the cylinder essentially so that we go from having this circle to instead having this be unwrapped into this, where one coordinate is 0, 0, and another coordinate is 1, 1. So essentially you want to just stretch this over the entire cylinder. Now I think this is actually going to be a straightforward process because I have made this custom cylinder that is mapped. The UVs are mapped that way. So I think we can just use the direct UVs to sample this and then use that value in calculating the rest of this. So I think this should be a fairly straightforward process. I say fairly because, as you may have seen in these streams, nothing is ever quite as simple as you'd imagine it to be. So we're just gonna try attempting this, and then I'm sorry, what is a read? There you go. Close. So we're gonna just attempt this. So I'm gonna go into here. We made our new shader. We're gonna call this, it's called planar surface. Now we're gonna make this planar layer. And we have our two variables. We added the uniform here. So just for those who don't know, these are properties in the shader. These are the actual uniform data that's going to be applied across everything, across the function calls. Any questions at all? Should I put a license to my game repo on GitHub? If so, which one? Simple game though. I don't really know, man. Like I'm not making my repo public, and I haven't looked too much at licenses, so I can't really give an informed opinion on that. It really depends on what you want to do. We planning on cramping information on the RGB channels of a texture? Yeah. So I think I'm going to do a very simple thing where, because there's a cooler version of this that I've implemented before for the Unity's for Unity terrains, where right now like each pixel here is like a channel with 4 float values: R, G. Okay, don't believe me. B and then A. So the simple thing, because we only have one texture here, is that we have just one channel that's going to be either 1 or 0, which in this case it can be just the alpha. If we want to be cooler, and I've done this, we can have use these other values to indicate if you want to use other textures. So we can have, this can be texture A, and we can have another texture B, and then C. And the way Unity does it with their terrain editor is that they have one texture be bound to R, and then a texture B bound to the blue channel, and then texture C bound to the B channel, or RGB. Gosh, I cannot draw with a mouse. You can do that, and all of a sudden, not only can you dictate, hey, we're going to display something here or not display something here, but instead you can actually display other textures and even blend between them. If you don't want to do that, you can do something even cooler, where you partition the values into individual channels, and now you can have way more than just 3 textures. You can have a bunch of textures, and that's the implementation I did, because I'm too fancy and cool. Let me check the Discord 1 second, because I think I posted it there, if I'm not mistaken, where we have our custom. I made a custom terrain editor for Unity, where you can paint tiles onto a terrain. And if you look here, also we have a new friend here. Welcome, Oscar. Glad to have you here. Let me go up to dev updates real quick, because it's from a while ago, I think. Is this it? No, that's a custom lighting thing. Oh, I think it's this one here. Yeah, so here we have like all these textures, and then on a Unity terrain, you can just paint from this palette of textures, or from this texture atlas. So your normal Unity, you only have 3. This one you can have as many as you want. There's just no blending, though we can probably do that as well. So yeah, we're doing a very simplified version of this, because I don't think we're going to need to do that, nor do I want to deal with that, but it's a thing. Yeah, well, it's because there's no texture on it, Draco. We're going to do that right now. Is it hard to make a 2D game for you? No, 2D games are really fun to work with. 3D is where things get weird. And I think a lot of the weird stuff that happened in this game is from me making it 3D instead of 2D. Looks like it lacks auto tiles, where it's not an auto tile. That's the thing. We're not using tile rules to define this stuff. It's a manual process, which for me in this game, it makes perfect sense for how I want to go about doing things here. We're just using keyboard. You just learn, man, Oscar. You use I3 so you can navigate your workspace without it, and then learn Vim so you can modify code without touching the keyboard or touching the mouse, and you know, you just get used to it. What types of game do you all like? I like racing games, and I like RuneScape right now. Apparently, I don't think I like MMOs in general. I just like RuneScape in particular for some reason. All right. Anyways, so I think this is all gonna happen in the fragment shader. So we have our sampled color here. I'm sorry, how do we sample this? Oh, because we calculate the UV. Oh, 1 second. So we use our planar UV function here, which, okay. That means that we're hijacking this UV value with our triplanar value for one of the textures. Yeah, so what can I do? I can just add another one, I guess. Actual UV, or control UV, let's say that. Text chord 6. I don't think we use anything else for that. Yeah, control UV, and then we're going to pass the original UV in, and hopefully it just works. and then we use what, v dot uv, pass that on, and then over here we're going to get our fixed for control, text 2D, control, and then I dot actual, or no, control UV, that's what I called it. So we have this, and then what we're going to do is do this combine thing where if control.a is less than 0.01, just an arbitrary threshold. In fact, we could make this alpha threshold. Gosh. And then we can change this. Or we're gonna try to be fancy. But yay, it just worked. Perfect. Yeah, that was like not needed at all. Anyways, so if the control or the base texture is below this threshold, we discard this pixel. Otherwise, we continue forward with lighting this. So I think this should just work. I think life should be good. In which case, now we can make a huge texture, control texture, and make this be, I don't know, 512 by 512. And all that matters really is that we have areas that are going to be transparent and not transparent. So we can do like a, I also want to make this tile properly, so we're going to do view tile on both axes. And then what am I doing? I have a tablet pen for a reason. I can just use a brush and paint this and have this feel much better. Yeah, I have a brush. And I haven't configured the brush. But that's, we can deal with that. In fact, let me just deal with that right now, because this is bothering me. Okay, copy this. Okay, paste. Yeah, ever since I added the third monitor, things have been kind of weird. And we're not going to do a gradient. I'm sorry. Is this moving over here? It's like combining everything. Why? Why? My tablet, it's not just bound to this, it's like encompassing all the screens. I don't want this. Okay, list device. Yeah, this is how we do it. Unless it's not 12. In which case we have to do this guy here. List active devices. And then, oh, it's no longer 12. It's now 14 because I unplugged it. Great. Let's just do everything, just be safe. Okay, now this should just work. Beautiful, okay. Now we can go here, and I can paint and make this a little bit bigger. Oh, I think it's overridden by the size here parameter. Yeah, we don't want that. So we're just gonna paint something here. Nothing fancy, just something, just enough to get the idea across. Okay, cool. And we're gonna save this as T control 1. And then we can go into Unity. We can change this shader to now be the new one we've just created. No, I don't want to edit it. I want to go here, FNF, and you're going to be planar layer. And now we're going to search for T underscore control. No, CTL. That's what I called it. Ooh, you're not popping up, are you? Let's see if you pop up here. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. This should just work. Why do you do this to me? It's not being found. Is this shader not compiling? No. Highlighting, I'm pretty sure it's Grubbox theme. Yeah, Tamerka, you got me. Notorious Kiwi, probably a frequently asked question, but is that a specific theme for your syntax hiding? Wasn't sure. Yeah, I'm using Grubbox. Grubbox Stark, I believe. Yeah, I'm coding a game. SJ Omega. Dang, coding's kind of hard. Now, it comes with time. You get it. I think iPads are better than those pads for drawing or explaining architecture concepts. I'm more used to using Intuos. I think when it comes to peripherals, it's just the comfort of the person who's using it. Okay, what is going on here? Oh! Did I not say this is a PNG? I say it is an ACE file. That'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, that's an ACE file. Get that out of here. Get, boy. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And I'm going to do my pixel preset, but I'm going to make this be the appropriate size, 512. Apply it. We're good. We're a golden goose. I can drag this bad boy here, and then it works. It just works, guys. It seemingly works. Joyous day. What a joyous day it is, ladies and gentlemen. It just works. It's stretched, but that's just due to the nature of this. But this actually just seems to do the thing, and that makes me a happy boy. And if I were to change this material instance, are they sharing the same material instance? Hopefully they're not. But yeah, material here, yep. Yeah, we're gonna make another instance of this guy here. Grab the outer one, throw it on here. Bam, good. This one we're gonna use grass, and we're gonna add another control. So get rid of this one. Whatever. 2. Yep, now you're gonna use CTL. Okay. You should exist. And you do exist. So I'm guessing just UI, Unity UI, not understanding that you are real. No. Okay, you just have to refresh. Perfect. Okay, and then the underlying one, let's grab you. Yes, sir. You are going to be using a CTL2. Nice. And let's just play it and see how it looks. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this top shader too, the grid shader. I hate how that looks. Okay. Yeah, this shader, this surface shader sucks. But hey, this works. Okay, we're gonna start experimenting with this. Where's the play space thing? I want it to be a simple grid, and even then, I'm not even sure if I want to have a simple grid. Play space. Or is a play game board, I think. It's a shader. Don't do this to me. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Play grid, of course. And I was trying to do something fun and fancy with this sign offset thing for the line, but I don't like that. Translation. Offset. What is this that I did? Why did I do the things that I did? I don't recall, if I'm going to be honest with you. Time. Draw a line. Okay, here's the lines. We do this whole dumb expression. Yeah, no. No. We're not doing this no more. Now it's simple. Simples. Lag. It happens sometimes. Yeah, I got a weird error about please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. I'm not sure why it's saying that. How do you come up with the game ideas? It just happens. It's just fun. You just I don't know. I get an idea for a game I want to work on. I think it's cool. And you know, it seems like a fun challenge technically to implement. And okay, I don't like this. So we're gonna do something here. We're gonna do something a little simple. We're gonna make this like 4. Or 32. Why not? Not producing the effect I want. I just want the lines to be okay, we're gonna leave this like this for a second. I'm gonna just player lane light. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Forgot so I haven't touched this in forever. Row height. Wall position mod 2. I'm not sure why I did any of this stuff. There's a cosine going on there somewhere. Translation. Oh, brother. I know I wrote this. I forgot. I completely. I'm surprised how quickly I forgot all this stuff. All right, let's try messing with numbers and see what happens. Oh, fantastic. Okay. There we go. That seems worse. Okay, we're getting progress here. Bigger lines. I'm not sure if I want bigger space between the lines. That's the thing I'm looking for here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm getting what I'm getting. If a main character sprite would be a layered image, not flat, that'd be cool. I'm thinking about that for like the engine at the very least. It's just when I run into an issue and somebody in the last 10 years has more than likely had the same issue. Yep. Back for 30 minutes. What's going on, man? I'm out for the night. GG's. Pull me in the absolute direction. You know what? We're just going to do this. This shader is a hindrance. We're just going to return 0. Oh, that's nice. I enjoy that way more. I mean, yeah, there's no frame of reference for any of the obstacles. We'll deal with that in a second. I can at least assess. And even with this angle, you can't see the stuff from the side. So you get like more perspective up front, but as far as the side, you're just kind of, yeah, like you're still like caught off guard a little bit. I'm kind of digging this though. I must say I am indeed digging this kind of multi-layered thing we got happening here. But I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be the dumbest thing. I almost feel like we're gonna end up going back to We're gonna end up going back to just making a simple 2D game instead of trying to do something crazy in 3D. Also, let me fix the skybox shader because it's wrong. Where is it called? Sky. Oh, what was it? Inverse? Fresnel shader? Yeah. This. So I'm trying to remember why this is wrong. We're doing a dot product between the world normal and the... Yeah, no, not camera forward. We want to use... What do you want to use for this? The dot product between... camera forward and the sun direction, I believe. Sun direction. Which means we have to have a sun of some form on this game. So I have to go back to it. The moon is right. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to figure it out, dude. I might just have to just scrap so much things and go simple. Because I've been focused, like, so much of the time has been spent on just trying to make this cylinder idea work. But I'm finding that maybe just going simple might be just what's better, not only in terms of presentation, but also in terms of gameplay. Which, you know, you have to kill your darlings, right? Like, as much as a cool idea that this was to implement, maybe not here. Maybe not here in this context. We need to do a different context for this to work. As for this, where's the lighting? Light source, light source, light source, light source, light source. Here we go. Light system. We have our sun here. We're going to enable it. Yeah, enable. You're back in the picture. Yeah, get rid of this. We're not doing that. We have the sun working again. We're going to enable you. And you should just be fine. And yeah, just send it. Let's see. About a game dev like you name's Danny. He used to make a lot of games, pretty workaholic. Funny, he made games like, oh, I've heard of him. Yeah, he did Crag Game. Yeah, I have indeed heard of him. And again, the way this composites, it feels like you're in Scary World, in Badland. Okay, so we have some idea here going on. Let me try a version 2. We're gonna have 3 layers. And let me try 1. Where is a sprite? There you go. We're just gonna do a full black one. In fact, let me just join, copy, new, paste. Actually, we're just gonna fill this all. And we're gonna do TCTL, and we're gonna call it full. And that's all you exist to be. And then we're gonna make a texture, I think. I wanna try like a techno texture thing. Or something that kind of looks like city buildings. Draco, what's going on, Draco? What are you saying? But YouTube is where I let a lot of my knowledge from when learning how to make my game. Oh, where you get a lot of your knowledge? Yeah. Same. Dude, honestly, implementing the custom lighting system, a lot of the stuff, like learning how to do cast shadows and implement that, came from just looking at C++ implementation videos for engines. And I was like, oh, that's pretty thick. It's pretty simple. Let's see here. Also, this shader's not doing what I want it to do. Which is that when this is facing the camera, we have a sun direction. What is going on here? Oh, we have the sun dot product. What are we doing? Okay, so this is for the Fresnel. Remember sun dot product. Oh, we're gonna do something and buy a book on JavaScript tomorrow at Barnes and Nobles. Why JavaScript? Like platformers? Yeah, like the game engine project I'm working on. That's meant to be a platformer. Let me start it up real quick. I can't wait to get this. Like I'm sorry. It's like I'm an NPC and I have the set number of dialogue options, but it's really true. Like I have one of the dialogue options that keeps coming up is that like, hey, the reward for me finishing this game is that I get to work on my game engine and having full control over everything. But yeah, this is a project I want to work on at some point. But I haven't, as you can see, it's very undercooked right now. Like, and honestly, I want to re-architect a lot of things here. But one day, that'll be my treat. It's just, I get to make the engine I have in mind. And life is going to be good and happy. And we're just going to be happy, dude. We're going to be happy. And I'm going to have, because the whole game is that you're going to have this arm extending mechanic. So like a lot of what you're doing is latching into stuff and then getting propelled towards it. So like I want the game to be focused on knowing the level and knowing how to get through it fast. Like you can get through it fast by just doing this. But that's one layer is that I want to have it where you can go really fast if you have good level knowledge where you don't even touch the ground. Like most of the time you're just grabbing onto stuff and getting propelled. So that's like one thing. And then the second thing is that there's going to be kind of a rich combat mechanic as well where like when you grab onto an enemy, well first of all you're going to control both arms individually. So you can like grab onto an enemy and grab onto like this thing that's going to launch you somewhere. And you can like swing yourself and like throw an enemy and it's going to follow the trajectory of your movement. So I want to have like this very interesting combat / platforming mechanic. So we're going to do that eventually. It's going to happen. So many game projects. I want to do Dot Dungeon. I want to do this. It's going to happen at some point. It's going to happen at some point. I'm going to figure out how to build a C project to Android and then it's going to be over. Just GG's. It's going to be game over. Oh, you're making my... Oh, that's what you posted. Okay, I got you. I know there are much easier ways to do this. No. If you're doing a web-based thing, you can't escape JavaScript. You can't escape it. At that, it makes sense to fully get the knowledge. Also, what's up, John Sanusi? Glad to have you here, man. Yeah, I mean, I respect it, honestly. I think it's better that you work with JavaScript directly. Because I know I've talked about using TypeScript, and it works great until you run into a weird quirk of JavaScript, and then you have to go into this transpiled code that's been generated by a machine and isn't human readable, and it's like, all right, I feel powerless now. I have no power here whatsoever in this domain. Let me do one other thing too. There's something else I've been wanting to do, which is have the input for the player. I want to display stuff correctly. So I want to have an indicator for your relative joystick so you can visually see where you're going relative to what. So let me just do that real quick. And we're going to probably have to remove the code from the player to its own module, but we'll do that when I feel like it. But right now the player doesn't have that much complex logic, so it's not the end of the world to just have the thing. We're going to have what are we going to have here? UI, raw image. Yeah, just a raw image. Base. Knob. Or I guess you spell it knob like that. And it exists somewhere in the game UI. Cool. And then in the player script, we're gonna have a thing here. Or honestly, should I, like, I kind of want to make this. I don't want to have so many references, things, but whatever. Raw image, knob, base. Okay, cool. And then now we have this raw position. Hopefully it's in screen space, and I could just position willy-nilly, and everything's good and dandy and fine. In relative input, we're gonna do a bunch of things, but I want to position knob.transform.position is going to equal to mouse, no, I think it's called pointer. Yeah, pointer position. Oh my goodness. Stop. Fine. So we have pointer position, which is where you currently are, and then the pointer base is going to be equal to start. So we can actually see the direction where everything's coming from. And I'll make a cool little like joystick icons for this stuff. But right now I just want to visually get a feel for this. Okay. Are we gonna play? Import. I have to do a re-import on the skin, don't I? Or on a script. Re-import. Thank you, compile domain. JavaScript evaluations are weird. I never fully understand them. Yeah. The double comparison versus the triple comparison. Because like Java has this whole idea of, hey, you know, we just want to make sure you're comparing it for real this time. Like, we have a comparison, but I don't like that one. I don't trust that one. So we just want to compare for real that these things are different. Oh, man. Oh, brother. Where's game board? Where's the player? And we have to provide the stuff. So you have knob base and knob. Should be good there. I'm good to go. I was talking about solutions to problem kind of things like new format specs example. What's going on? Of making something new and original, searching if it's already been done. Okay. So we can see the direction we're moving in. Cool, and it is in screen space, which makes life even better. Now, I don't want this to be, like if it's released, I don't want to display this at all. So, on is waiting. We're just going to set this to be, no, we're going to set false. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of, and this is bad practice to Mirka, like on my part. But I don't like searching to see if things have been already done. Like I know people look for papers, but there's the fun of making things where it's just like, I just want to see how I would go about solving this from the ground up. Obviously for commercial things or professional work, that's not the best way to go about things, but at least for my personal projects, it's fun to be like, all right, how would I pioneer this? If I were a pioneer of this thing, how would I go about architecting or designing or approaching the solution? Okay. So false, now it's appearance. And then I also don't want this to be just the raw position. I want this to be like a normal. So we're gonna have like length equal like, I don't know, maybe 128 pixels. Knob rod length. No, we're just gonna do There's no way to word this that feels not done. Just call it length, whatever. Who cares? And then we're gonna do position is gonna be equal to get position minus what? Start normalized times length. So that's going to produce a vector with the appropriate length. Now we have to make it be relative to the start position, which I believe this should do, but I don't trust. No, yeah, I don't trust the parentheses, but we're going to assume that everything works correctly. And then if we go here, this should just work. Fake comparing and true comparing, you gotta get the good ending. It's kind of like asking to make a calendar or a clock app without libraries. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my ethos, right? Like, you know, I don't need to make an engine, but I think it's fun to make all the decisions about how everything in the application is going to work. Come on. For comparing, it's kind of like asking to make a calendar. What are we coding? We're coding some gameplay stuff. Right now I'm just doing, we're going to go back to graphics stuff in a second, but I just wanted to do like our joystick. Yeah, no, joystick works. So you move up, and then you move forward for faster acceleration, and you can like slow back down. So now it's very clear on the phone screen what direction your input is. And you can make a little joystick icon for this. Maybe I should do instead of like normalization, maybe I should do min. Oh, but good luck. PS nice setup. I can't live without split keyboard. Oh yeah, no, split key is fantastic. Split key is life. I cannot live without it. Actually, I can. I use the IBM Battleship, but like, you know, it's nice. You gotta spice things up on occasion. 2FA for comparing. From a learning standpoint, it is better to go about it on your own if you have relevant know-how to make something work. Yeah, and there's also the thing of like, if you do it from the ground up, you only have explicitly what you want, so there's like less bloat that happens. It's not the biggest factor, because like most devices are able to handle it, but there's something I like about just trying to be like, all right, we're going to respect the user's machine and try to not occupy more than we need, or do a bunch of redundant processing that doesn't need to exist. But that's less so from a place of practicality, unless like, you know, the problem space you're tackling for your project is actually like no engine can produce what you want it to do, so you know it necessitates doing that. Or you know, there's also the angle of, hey, I want an engine that's optimized for me specifically, which is its own whole conversation. Okay. Enter the red field. Okay. Yeah, I think if I want to do the juice, instead of doing this or just this, there'd be like some kind of min operation where either use this vector or we use the actual place the knob where it needs to be. So like if your finger's here, instead of placing the top of it over here, we actually have it smaller. And then only if your finger exceeds the boundaries of the length of that, like, you know, arcade stick, that's the way I'm thinking about it, do you actually enforce this value here. So what do I want to do? You can do a math or vector 3 lerp, where this is like a value And then there's just pointer dot. Oh my goodness. Why is there? Oh, there you go. Yeah, we don't have to call this twice. I'll fix that in a second. Or honestly, I should just cache it as like delta, and then like, in fact, we should just do that. In fact, we're gonna have to cache these values anyways, because we need to do we're gonna have to do a magnitude comparison. So we just kind of have to do this. So yeah, we'll just do vector 3 delta, and then I'm sorry, why is this mad at me? Why are you mad at me? Is it vector 2? It's a vector 2. Nope. Oh, wait a second, because there's an assignment operator happening. That's why. And then we have, instead of this, now we have simply have delta dot normalize times length vector 2 normal, and then now we can change this to be like, this is going to be, yeah, the normalized version of it. Even though this is not really normal, it's like a normal, but then like scale to the length of this, but whatever. And then this is just going to be delta. So the actual offset. So actually I should really just change this to be like fixed length versus delta, and then we're gonna do, oh, I don't know. Do I want to do a math lerp? Because really, it's just one or two values. Like if the magnitude of this, a fixed length is less than, or the delta is less than length, then we use delta. Otherwise, we use this. Like honestly, I could just if else this into a value. There's part of me that wants to make this terse. I wish you can just do float casting from a Boolean value in C#. You just can't do that, and it bothers me. It makes me so mad. I love that you can do that in C. Wait a second, can I do this? From Boolean to Boolean expression to no, it doesn't let me do that. Darn you, Dinkelberg, which means you have to do another ternary operator. If you're doing a ternary, you might as well just do the thing, dude. It's just, man. It's so dumb. Okay, whatever. Final offset is going to be equal to, yeah, we're just going to do a ternary. Whatever. We try to be cool, but look where that got us in life. Why does my typing suck today, dude? I mean, it always kind of sucks, but today it feels especially sucky. Okay. And then finally, we're going to do final offset. Cool. And that should just work. One second. You seem very talented in this. Did you go to school for this? And how much did you learn on your own? Most of it, what I learned is from either on my own or actually at work. Yeah, school is helpful. You learn some things that are useful there, but most of actual practical knowledge I used 99.9% of the time came from work. Which is kind of this weird like cycle of like, hey, how do you get experience? By Getting a job. How do you get a job? With experience. But honest to goodness, that's just how it is. Hey, now we have our thing now. We have our joystick looking thing. And it's irrespective of screen. Nice. Oh yeah, but yeah, it's, I don't know, mentorship. That's a better way of describing it. A lot of it's from mentorship, but like the best kind of experience is not only from a mentor, but like a mentor who's working on the same project as you for an extended period of time. Because you don't get interesting or complex problems within the fixed small time frame. The interesting stuff comes, and the things with significant consequences that would necessitate like good decisions are usually the things that are part of long-term projects. The Ergodox, yeah, it's Ergodox. Yeah, I love the split cube. It's very fun. Though when I go from normal keyboards to this, it's like a weird transition. Or if I go from my laptop, it's like it's not as bad, but it still kind of happens where I'm like, all right, I can't. My typing doesn't feel right. But then after like the day, or after half a day, it's like, all right, we're back. We're so back. We're so back. Don't need this search service thing. So we have our proper input. Maybe we want to be cool. We can do a little thing in Ace Sprite. If I can find it. Here we go. Like a little screen graphic. I don't like that resolution. I'm sorry, what happened here? Oh, we also have writer, or we also have what do we have here? Yeah, I have the game engine project open right now. Get this out of here. Get that out of here. No wonder I was like, why is there so much stuff? It feels so cluttered here. Oh, it's because I have it's because I have the other engine project open. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. You're gonna go into, do I have a UI folder here? Graphics, home, shop, zine, shop. I don't. Okay, UI it is. T, joystick, base, and then, oh no. This is not centered. No. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Do it again. Why does this keep happening? Why does my mouse snap away? Okay, here we go. There we go. And did I save it as... I don't want to save as an ACE file. I want to save as a PNG, dude. Okay, and then we're going to make another one slightly smaller. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Okay, grab one here. Do this. Also add the symmetry option just to check our work. Do that. Perfect. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay, and make this red for right now. Maybe if you want to be fancy about it, we can do like a little color gradient here, and then add like some shine to kind of indicate, hey, this is an object that is lit, kind of in the real world, but not really, but also kind of. Yeah, some subtle things like this. Here and there. Nothing too fancy. It's enough to get the idea across. And then maybe shift it a little bit further to the orange, desaturate a little bit, and a little bit brighter as well. And then have the not emissive. What's the term? Have a little bit of the what is that term? Like in the Phong lighting model, like there's ambient lighting, the ambient light or the ambient. There's the diffuse, and then there's a specular. Yeah, have some of the specular be represented here as well. A little bit. Just a little bit of specularity. Won't do you wrong. Maybe I should make this a bit more wider to make it feel more reflective than it actually is, or than it currently is. Maybe we need to add some more color groups to really sell this, because right now we're kind of approaching pillow shading almost, which I'm not a fan of. Maybe since the light is hitting this area more, we should include more of this here. And maybe a little bit less here. Now it's like shading a ball is like the first thing you do when you start learning art, and I still struggle with it, man. All this time later, I still kind of struggle with it. I think these color groups are a little too far from each other. I think I'm going to include another one. Maybe this is too much detail. I don't know. This might be too much detail to have going on here. Is it? Am I just crazy? Anti-alias, yeah. A little bit of that going on here. Smooth the transition a little bit so it's less jarring. More smoother in some respects. Still not happy with it. But I just need something for right now, and we can revisit this. And maybe more specular details. A little bit more specular details. And then we leave this like as it is, because I can keep working at this all day. I almost want to. Oh my goodness. Am I going to do this? This is what's going to happen. Is this what we're doing? Stop it. Stop doing this. Just leave it. Okay, fine. It's fine. We're not gonna. We'll go back to this later. We'll worry about this later. This is fine. Okay, and then we go to base. Set the texture here. T base. And then we have knob, which is gonna be the top. Perfect. And then how does this look on screen? It looks fine. I almost want to make it a little bit thicker, but the outlines a little bit. But we'll leave this for now. Yeah, we'll leave this for now. Though I do wish to apply the pixel sprite preset to them and then make them the appropriate size, which I think it should be 64 by 64, or maybe they're actually 32 by 32. Whatever, we'll try this out. How are you making these sprites? I'm using a program called Sprite. Yeah. We kind of need the knob for this. Or make them bigger. But yeah, I'm using a program called Sprite to do these sprites. It's a pretty good application. Pretty good. Pretty good. I like it a lot. It's a very fun application. I've used it all my life, like literally. Maybe not all of my life, but a majority of my life has been using Sprite. It's that good. You can do simple things like this very easily. I love it. It's my favorite. Maybe we'll do a little side thing here, just to be fancy. How big did I make this? 2? We're gonna make this, or 4. Yeah, 4. Okay, and then we follow this here. Follow this here. That's where a pixel will begin. And I can make this inner circle like so. Perfect. And then I can disable this, close this, this. Oh, I should have left them on. Whatever. Okay, now we turn this off. And then we can do some lighting. We can do some lighting just to make this look even cooler. Because of course, this is the most important use of my time. But at the same time, I think it's worth making things good. So we're just gonna do that. We're just gonna make things good. So we're just gonna add a little polish to this so it feels like there's like a metallic rim. And then maybe add a little dithering here. Because why not? Is it hard to compile Sprite? No, I have not tried compiling it at all. I should, actually. I like the ability, I like the idea of saying, hey, I have the source of the application, I can make changes to it. Like with Codeberg, like, yeah, I don't like using Rust, but maybe I don't even dislike using, okay, there's things I don't like about Rust. That's a different conversation. But it's nice that with Codeberg's CLI tool, I can just say, hey, I can modify the application, so instead of typing in like Cozy Cabin Game / and then a project, I can make it detect, hey, if I didn't provide a user, just assume it's this person, Cozy Cabin Games, and then search the repositories from there. Like I like having that kind of power and ability, and you only get that from having source access. Which maybe I should do that with Sprite because it's so integrated in my life that it's worth it to actually be able to control it in that manner, that fine-tuned manner. Okay. We're gonna have some like trailing of the edges because the hard surfaces kind of produce this. Yep. And then I think we're gonna make it a little softer metallic color here, just to start the transition to the darker color. Maybe make it a little bit more gray. Do I like this extra color, or does it bring joy to my life, or does it bring it pain? It feels like pain a little bit. I don't feel very happy with it, if I'm gonna be real with you. I don't feel as convinced that I want this in my life. I would be lying to you if I said I didn't feel unconvinced. This is not conducive for my physical and mental well-being. Like Marie Kondo, this does not bring joy, so it must go. Or maybe it can stay. Maybe it can stay. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun. Maybe I need to give it time to be appreciated. Okay, save it. Okay, and then let's see how this looks in game. Oh, I also want to make them bigger, like twice as big. Is it quiet in chat, or is my TV just bugging out, not showing anything? No, Cornelius, you're good. It's quiet on the horizontal stream. The vertical stream, there's usually more chatter going on. Let me go to here, to these two, and we shall scale them by 2. Yes, yes indeed. This should be good. What are you making? I don't understand this. Oh, I'm just making a joystick right now for... I'm sorry. I believe I believe we re-imported you, right? Yes, we did. But I'm making a joystick right now for the relative joystick that we have in game. And after this, I'm going to start working on more gameplay stuff. Yeah, dude, I'm not feeling convinced with this perspective, honestly. Like, yes, I can't see as much for it if I use the orthogonal projection, but at the very least, like, honestly, dude, this whole thing we were doing about making a custom, like, this infrastructure for having custom engine parts feels less and less of actual consequence. Because you can only go so fast before you start hitting things. So maybe freedom of customization, customizing your engine is not the way to go. I know my nieces, they or at least my niece, she prefers, like, she seems more interested in, like, buying clothes for her character or different skins or whatnot. So maybe that's what the game is, where, like, fundamentally the machine doesn't change. Or maybe we provide a set of different machines that operate in different ways, but unlike in racing games where there's a lot more freedom in terms of your control, for this type of game, maybe restricting control might be just better. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the cameras. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Because I'm disabling this, and we have an orthographic version of this. Where it's like, okay. And now this feels like an actual screen. It feels like an actual yeah, it feels like and we have the different layers here, so you have like this kind of parallax effect happening. I need to fix this, the parametric shader, but like 2D presentation, 3D or 3D presentation, but 2D camera angles and stuff. Yeah, that might be just the way we go about handling stuff, dude. But this is my first horizontal stream. I have this vertical one on my laptop, though, for chat. Oh, sick, man. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, dude. Honestly, as cool as a 3D. Because then, like, now we don't need to have the grids. The grids don't need to exist there. They can just be... They can just be whatever they are. Now the question is, do we even want to have the cylinder thing in the background? Like, I think it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I think what we can do is have air warnings for like hazards that are nearby and display them on the corners of the screen. And the closer they are, they get bigger. Maybe that's how we communicate dangers to the players so they don't actually bonk themselves. Maybe that's just literally the way we go about handling this. So out of curiosity, let's, I'm gonna save this first of all, and I'm gonna reintroduce, I'm gonna get rid of the cylinder we currently have. I wanna reintroduce the assets from Terrell, because I'm kind of curious, because with this more orthographic projection, maybe it could work fine. And because the radius isn't that drastic anymore, the environmental changes are not going to be as whiplash inducing. The only thing is that the 3D assets would have to be smaller now. Where is the 3D? Where is the 3D? Where is the 3D? Oh yeah, here you are. I'm sorry. What are you? Oh, I didn't disable you. There we go. So we bring back. No, it's not the one. Which is the one? I know for a fact we have. Which one? It's lower, higher. Oh, I think that's the one. Doesn't have the textures though. I think it's this one. Yeah, that's the one. The game view, make this a little bigger. You know, this honestly works pretty well as long as it's not too distracting. I think when I have the size be bigger, but then like Jetpack Joe, I guess so. I haven't played that game in a long time, so I can't really say if that's what I'm doing, but yeah, because like if we don't have if we don't have the visibility from having like a first person perspective, then we have to have some kind of affordance to indicate danger. Yeah, like these things coming down here, like I have no way of seeing them. The 3D looks cool. Yeah, I'm actually kind of digging this 3D surface look. So I'm guessing we keep this. And just get the scope a little bit different. I think maybe this is actually fine. This is cool. Thank you, Tamerka. You mean incoming danger signs? Like, yeah. Yeah, I think I want to have these features be smaller so it feels like you're further away than you actually are. Okay, I think I like this. I think we can still make the 3D work. I think I might do tandem, like a combination of a couple things. Like having some things that are 3D mesh and have the control map thing we discussed. It might be worth having both of them in tandem. Maybe not this one. Like, I think this could be very cool. Where is the texture? This is the control? Nope. I want to add some more holes to this. Let me do tile mode, both axes. We're going to use the eraser tool. Oh, that changes. Okay, never mind. Scale. If you want to add more space to this and see how this looks. In fact, I'm just going to do... And can we do a square shape as well? Yes. Because I want to do that kind of Final Fantasy VII Midgar where there's like layers of this crazy technological stuff. And then maybe there's like a little view into the underlying world that's underneath. I think that could be really sick. Pretty freaking rad, man. And heck, we even have like rotating different surfaces that rotate at different speeds to add even more like intrigue into the environment. Yeah, like this. Like this could be kind of a cool combination. Like this can be like a surface with just like techno whatever going on. In fact, let me yoink Terrell because he sent me some test stuff to work with. So I'm gonna maybe give them a look here and just try it out. But yeah, I'm actually really liking this idea. A fusion of both elements. Do we, player, control forward momentum? Yes, you can. Right now it's not as apparent because the minimum operating speed is pretty close to your maximum. But yeah, you do control that. I might get rid of it again. Like maybe I have an option for like auto scroll and that's just off. You see, like that's killing me, dude. That's literally killing me. Yeah, look at that, and you see like some stuff get revealed underneath. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think this might be the way. This feels really sick, dude. Honestly. And if I do the thing where we have, because I believe these surfaces aren't subject to cast shadow. I think I turned it off. No, they're on actually. Interesting. Let me look at these guys. Yeah, I'm gonna change the sky shader. We'll deal with that later. So all of them do have. They should be subject to cast shadows. Okay, cool. Oh, this is actually coming together, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of stressing. I was like, okay, I feel like I can't get the vision for this game going, but I think we have something cooking, man. Yeah, okay, let's go. What's up, Popo? Glad to have you here. Okay, cool. I think I need to start working on player animations. And actually like how we're gonna handle indicating you're going up and you're going down. I think we're gonna just do the sprite we had for oh no, because that one we had like a fixed. I want to have an animation that's kind of dynamic that responds to how much your angle is going up. Like if you're going at a sharp angle, it's gonna be your sprite's gonna rotate a bit to match that. Make it where the character accelerates infinitely, but we can control the brakes. I mean, we'll see. I'm thinking about how we're gonna, because I want the idea of you being able to. It's gonna depend on what we do with the engine customization thing. Because I like that incentive of, hey, getting new engines means that you have a higher limit now, or you can change the limit of your machine. So getting one that has like a higher max speed, you know, it's gonna have significant consequences, right? But if we move away from that, then yeah, maybe that should be. You see what's happening with my mouse? There's something going on with like X11 where it's just somehow dropping mouse inputs. Like if I use my IBM, it doesn't do that. Maybe my mouse is just dying. I mean, that's just what's happening. Because the wired one is perfectly fine. Yeah, let me actually go back to Twitter. Also, do we have more people here? Let's go. Ah, welcomes, of course. Late night bellissimo of a stream. Bellissimo of a stream. What does that mean? Nice. Nice, Melon. I dig that. All right, well, not distracted. No distraction. Let me go back to work. So, what are we doing here? I like the sketch for the character. I want to bring that back, actually. Where is... Here it is. So in an old version I did in Godot, testing this very idea, I did add this animation, a static animation just going down or up. Maybe I should just do something like that again. We also need to fix the normal maps, because I love the way the normal maps look here on the character, and we're not getting that behavior for some reason. So I need to figure out what's going on with the shader, because I think this looks so freaking cool. To show speed. Well, no, I don't think it's I think what I'm mentioning here is much more like a design decision on whether or not we cap speed or not. Because it's space, like, you know, you could, there's no friction, or at the very least here it's kind of more like high altitude. Where is this? Okay, whatever. It's like high altitude, so like negligible friction. So any acceleration you're doing just kind of adds to it. And if the idea of the game is like, hey, you want to go faster, then like having that be a thing could help encourage that idea. But we don't. I don't know. I have to think about this. I need to think about this. Maybe try some different stuff. Maybe do both. And the engines just kind of affect how fast you accelerate to that. But I like the idea of a very simple starter engine where it's has a low speed but is very responsive, so it feels good for people who are starting out for the first time. But then as they want to go faster and faster, you know, they have to go to higher things. Or maybe even like incentivize using weird engines that have low acceleration but have a really high maximum. So like, yeah, it sucks initially, but as you get going on a run, the faster and crazier it gets. We don't need this over here either. We can get rid of that dude. Yeah, things to consider. I think I want to work on some UI stuff. Unlike that display we mentioned. Prioritization. I don't know. There's a lot to consider. I also want to make this a little bit darker. I do suppose this is like the... Yeah. But now this color, we can make it darker and it feels more purposeful. I'm sorry. There we go. Maybe a little bit brighter. And you can also make this double dashage. Nope. It's doing the thing again. Mom! It's doing the thing! Linux? Mom, Linux is being weird. Okay. This is fine. Alright, we have our double. We can... No, I think we have to keep this feeling round. Maybe I'll alias it or something, but we'll see. There's so much to consider here. So I need to work on like the obstacle generator as well as like the asset stuff. Changing the radius has changed things as well, so there's a lot to do here, man. A lot to do. what the lose condition or maybe win condition. If your HP goes down, and then I want this to be kind of an infinite runner thing, but with discrete stages. Right now it's like an instant death because the starter engine has really low HP. I think I should probably change that, so it could be a little bit more forgiving. In fact, we should probably start working on designing this engine visual or the car visuals where you can see the components change. Yeah. The incentive, because there's a time bonus. There's a time bonus. So like for each segment, even though it's an infinite runner, you're traveling at one segment, right? Or one world, let's say. And for that world, you have a specific time requirement. And the more you go under that, the more coinage you get for it, right? And once you clear that, you go into the next segment. Now, we can have a thing where it's like, all right, you can make it to the end, and you just get nothing if you just took your time and didn't try it going fast. Or if you want to be really hard, we can be like, hey, no, you didn't meet the time minimum, so you lose. But yeah, that's like kind of the idea. That is the idea we have, or we're operating with here. Let's talk about speed, shall we? Let's talk about speed, shall we? In this UI, I want to make a. So let's do. We're gonna do a thing. I'm gonna do like a 9-segment display for the speed. So I'm gonna make a thing just for displaying that. Maybe just make it one texture and then you index into it. What's up, VQ? Why don't I use Unity? Because I don't want to use the new license. I don't know. I'm fine with this version. I'm cool with this version. It does everything I want it to do. And hopefully, if all things go well, actually no, there's 2 more games in the pipeline we need to finish. But hopefully, we don't have to keep. Hopefully, this is the last version I have to use, and then we're done. Thank you, IDK. That's a good theme. I enjoy it. New license. Well, yeah, when that whole Unity debacle happened, they said that, like, all right, now the licenses that preceded that version are not going to be retroactive. They're going to be honored, the conditions. Whereas new licenses, there can be changes that can be done retroactively. At least that's what my understanding of it was. So when I heard that, I was like, all right, we're just going to stick on these versions of Unity, and we're just going to live with this, and it's going to be fine. Anyways, all right, so display here. I think we're gonna do a shader for that and just have like a tile offset that indicates the value. So like an offset of 0 is gonna be like 0, and then an offset of 0.1 is gonna be 0.1, and so on and so forth until we get to 9. And I should probably figure out the resolution for this 9. In fact, we should probably concept out this this display. I have a basic idea. In fact, we can even look at a car. Yeah, something simple like this, I think. Something that displays like speed here and then have something that indicates this. The only issue is that as you change engines, the maximum is going to have to change as well. I don't like that. So maybe we make this okay, maybe make the speed be big and occupy a lot of this, and then have the numbers scrubbed away, and we just have like a general idea of, hey, this is the maximum, this is the minimum, and have it be normalized to that. Yeah, it's OBS. Yeah, that's the thing I don't trust, because they say, and the thing is, like, they modify the license as well, so I don't trust Unity. So I'm just sticking with the one license I had, and just rocking with it. And in an attempt to avoid having to go to a license that may be subject to change willy-nilly on Unity's part. So yeah, I will not see the 6 point. Maybe for work they're going to do that at some point, but for me, I will not be seeing the 6.0 promised land, which I'm fine with. This does, honestly, I spend so much of my time reinventing or re-implementing a lot of core engine stuff anyways. So it's not that much that they're offering that really appeals to me, because most of what I do is try to have my own things work the way I want it to. Okay, cool. Let me start. We should probably have some kind of resolution defined for this, but like if it's 1920 by 1080, let's say that that's what we're using here, right? Then this bottom corner here should be like, in fact, let's even prototype this real quick. And we're gonna do like half resolution maybe. So 1920 by 1080. And then we want to occupy, let's say, like something like this size of the screen. Big enough to like display information, but not enough to be annoying. And then if we have this down to like, I don't know, half resolution. I might have to go even lower. How big is this? 212, 210 by, maybe you have to do a fourth. Okay, new. So let's not do that. Let's actually make this somewhat. So there's 138. We can do a width of like 128. We do a 128 by 128 sprite here for our little odometer. Yeah, I'm using i3. Rah. That's what we're using. And then I want to get a feel for the real estate we have to work with. Oh my freaking goodness, I'm gonna lose it. And I usually use PyCom, but honestly I find myself not using it lately. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm willing to guess that this is it. That it's this mouse and not, like if I were to do this with the IBM. Nope, it's happening with the IBM as well. Okay. Something. I don't know who to blame. But anytime my mouse has to cause scrolling, it just does not like that. Okay, and then, it's gonna bother me that this is not perfectly centered. This is why I like having this here, because I can like tell exactly when we meet the center. Okay, there we go. So we have this. In fact, we're gonna make a grid to make sure that everything's measured correctly, and then we're gonna start figuring out how to do how much space our 9-segment display is gonna occupy. So this is gonna be like a layer that exists purely just for this. Blame Microsoft. It's all Microsoft's fault. Microsoft, why did you make Linux bad? Okay, not bad. Why did you make? I'm not sure. Is it X11 that's causing the issue? Something's not right here, and someone needs to pay. Anywho. Okay, we have this, and then we need to figure out the size of our little odometer. Honestly, I feel like I should just illustrate this. If I'm gonna be real with you. Because it feels way too high resolution for what I'm communicating. Microsoft has sanitized the mouse as part of the PC. Is it? I guess maybe we might have them go at like ultra speed at some point. See, this is what's freaking me out. Oh, you know what's happening? So when I do this, my mouse gets snapped to that display. Ever since I added the third monitor, things have been weird. Okay. Anyways. So, oh my freaking goodness! I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I am going to lose it, dog. I am losing it. I'm actually just I'm going a little crazy here, man. Okay, you know what? We're not doing this right now. Maybe I'll do this on my laptop or something. I wonder if I start a PyCom, is that going to stop problems? I don't think so. I don't think PyCom is going to make this magically work better. Yeah, it still happens. I don't know why this causes this to go to my other monitor. Okay. You know what? There's other important things to address here. Other important things to address here. Such as... I really wanted to do the display though. But yeah, I feel like this is not even... I think it's like even smaller than just a 4th resolution. I don't know. You know what we're gonna do? We can work on the shader and figure out what is going wrong with the what's going wrong with the normal map. Because I don't know why it works fine in Messy Mansion, but in this game it's not working, and I'm not sure what's the cause of the lack of normals being shown on the edge. Yeah, I'm not sure what's the deal with that. Oh, maybe we should turn on per pixel lighting. That might help. That might actually help. Let's see. Let's see if per pixel lighting changes things. In fact, let's zoom into the player. Because I know for a fact we've gotten this working before. So let's go to a weird angle with the sun. Okay. So what's going on here? Maybe the cast shadow's causing some stuff? Nope. Alright, let me try something here. Let me actually use a light source that for sure should cause the rim lighting effect we want to see with the player. Ask GPT? Nah. I'm not. GPT also doesn't have knowledge of my custom lighting model, so... And I'd rather not feed it to the AI. You know Proton is there only because there was one guy who wanted to play games on Linux. It was Nier Automata. Of course it was Nier Automata. And he made a transpiler from DirectX to Vulkan. Yeah, what a guy. What a guy. Shout out. Well, it's not only that, right? It's also the Win API. Because it's not enough just to transpile the Vulkan, like the shaders. You also have to replicate the Win APIs that the games want to try accessing to do stuff with. Which is... on its own a whole task. A task and a half. Oh, brother. Okay. I'm gonna make a light source. Create empty. You're gonna have Cozy light. Cozy light. Yeah, you're gonna be a point light. Yeah, why not make it yellow? A very strong intensity. Ooh. I think I forgot that this needs to be right next to the player. Yeah, let's parent it to... Well, actually, it's going to be rotating, so it's fine, actually. Yeah, we can put the player there. Now we have this point light with a large radius. Hey! Is it doing what I think it is? I don't know. We'll find out during play mode. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing the thing. Also, you know what? What we're gonna do is actually get rid of this minimum speed thing, because I need to test other things. So our min speed is gonna be 0. And it's fine. Oh, come on, brother. Recompile. Yeah, there we go. Do I have like that option turned off or something? The fact that I have to force the domain every single time. Like, they did turn it off at some point? Oh my goodness. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's it. We're gonna do... We're not gonna do this overriding business. We'll do that later. And we're gonna have free control now. And go from there. So now I should be able to go back here. Okay, and then if I look at the game, or the visual... You know, there's still this light right here. Where's the player sprite? Oh, you're right there. So right next to it. So there's no excuse. This should for sure be illuminating the character and causing a backlight to happen. Or that rim lighting to happen. That's 100% for sure what should be going on. So, what could possibly be the issue here? So, in our material, we indeed have the texture. There's no normal map, we're not using that. We have disable cast shadows. Let me try that out. Yeah, no. So that's not a factor here. So we need to investigate this. I remember last time, I think we were actually having the correct things. Like when we returned the like when we just returned the normal value, it was looking correct. This is gonna produce a color, so we can just early return. What is this? In fact, I probably have this commented somewhere else. Whatever. And now, what does this produce? Actually, it's producing all the same color. Let me even get rid of this and just return. Okay, so that's a starting point for where things might be going bad. Let's see what else we have going on here. Okay, we might be onto something here. Oh, come on, I accidentally pressed play. Go back. Actually, it doesn't matter because we're just looking at the normals anyways. Of course, it's using world normal, so it's going to change as we change directions. That's perfectly fine for me. Now, pixel to UV coefficient. So let's start here. We have this pixel to UV coefficient because we have the width of each sprite cell, and we're doing this on a sprite sheet, so we have to do that. So we have the size of, so this is the size of a single pixel in the UV. So yeah, that's correct. Okay. And then we have, what do we have here? It's comp pixel coefficient times pixel distance. So we take the current place, the texture, and then we march it to the right and to the left, and that's gonna produce, yeah, cool. Huh? Okay, cool, yeah. Right, left, up, down. And then it's gonna give for X and Y comp. Oh, it's the ergodocs. I had some project in uni as an alternative to pass grades. For the subject, I had to fix lab work on Android Studio for making basic calculator, whatever I did. Emulators just wouldn't work. Really? That's odd. I searched far and wide, problems with emulator choices, virtualization, Android Studio version. Nothing worked. That sounds like a nightmare to deal with. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to dealing with that too when I eventually get back there. With a KX, Momo. Docs with the X. I don't know why it doesn't. Nightbot, you're fired. It's not producing the commands. Oh, it is. Keyboard. What am I building? I'm building a game, and right now I'm trying to fix how lighting is done on the surface of the character. Because I have this cool pixel sprite rendering thing, but it's not doing what I want it to do. Which is tragic. Unity object to world normal. So we convert this to world normal. From object space. Okay. So out of curiosity here, instead of returning this, what if I return normal map? Still no changes here. What game? I don't have the name for it yet. It's still, the last version of it was called Fight and Flight. I'm not sure what I'm gonna say it. Call it. But oh wait, one second. I didn't compile this, did I? It's a game where you're flying and you're flying through this like 2.5D or this 3D world on a 2D playing grid, and It's pixel, but we're gonna have like this cool shader for making it feel like this is how in the iteration I did a long time ago it looks like this. This is a long time ago, and we're gonna achieve the same kind of thing but using our sprite, our custom shader. That's what we're trying to reproduce. And a different engine and a different shader, all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to figure out why this doesn't work here, because it worked fine in another project, but in this one it's just being odd. I've done some changes, but I'm not sure which ones have broken this exactly. And when we're testing it here, yeah, I'm not seeing the desired output. So this is how far we're going to check to see if it's transparent. We go left, right, up, down. And we have X comp, we add 1 for the X coordinate, and if it's also there, it's gonna even out on the X to be facing up. Or to have 0 X values, okay, and this makes sense to me, and then we do this here. The only thing that's gonna be weird is that if we do the UV coordinate, if the UV's wrong, which is dependent upon our fragment, or not fragment, our vertex shader down here. Or we have this v dot vertex equals, yeah, now we o dot tangent. It's that. And then we do our vertex light function, which does stuff depending on if we're using per pixel. In this case we are. And we get the normal of the surface, which it's what you expect it to be. Unity object to world. V dot. That's the position. Okay, yeah. And the unity object to world normal. We pass in the v dot normal, and that should be fine. And then we pass in these values. World normal is 0, world positions with 1. Yeah, we don't initialize any of this stuff here. Yes, the problem can be solved by updating Windows, but as I'm not administrator, I wouldn't take these risks. There were other labs with Windows, with WMS lab manual, so you have to use a phone. So no emulators. Gotcha. I mean, honestly, like I don't like using emulators in general. Like even when I was working with the Vision Pro, that's such a slow process. But like, I still preferred going through the whole thing of compiling to Xcode and then compiling to the Vision Pro and deploying there, than trying to use an emulator. Because like, nothing beats testing on the actual hardware. Like even with this game, I'm building directly to phone instead of using emulators. Because I know they're it's a really great piece of engineering, powerful technology and everything, but I like just seeing how things work on the actual end device. Speaking of which, I want to go to like a Micro Center or something and buy a really cheap phone just to test this game on, to see like what does the bottom category of hardware look like when we try playing our game, and see how it feels in there. All this will be calculated in the fragment pass. Either way, though, this is not the... I mean, I don't think that's the issue at all, because all the other stuff renders perfectly fine. So something odd's going on here with our max distance thing. Is our sprite like scaled up? Like that could be a weird thing as well, but I doubt that's what's causing it. And we have our X and Y composite component. We have one, which is odd. Because I almost want to do 1 minus X comp and minus Y comp. Because the more those values go to a magnitude of 1, the less likely this is going to be pointing forward. And especially since we normalize this value, this can have an unneeded weight. But I think it should be still fine. But is the value produce X comp, Y comp, and object space? We explain the conversion we do here. Actually, this is another thing we do here. X. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because we're already providing a value with a positive Z value. So yeah, this is fine. I'm sorry, what? Oh, we multiply. Why do we multiply this to be... What? Why do we... Wait, what? Why do we make this negative? Why do we have this pointing backwards? That doesn't make sense. Why do we do this step? Okay. Okay, this is promising. Now let's see if we actually produce something with I mean, I'm not getting the outline we're looking for though. There should be an outline. Yeah, and there's no outline though. So yeah, we fixed that calculation, but we're still not getting the outline we're looking for. Unless it's like going outside of the range. Like if we make this smaller actually. Let's do 2. Nope, nothing there. Yeah, and that shouldn't be an issue. Cause I think the pixels on this sprite sheet should still have enough bandwidth and space to like go 3 pixels and not accidentally wrap around. Okay. So go through this whole process. We have this X and Y comp. It's like negative X value and negative Y value. And then we convert it from object to world normal, which is cool. Okay, we can convert it from the normal from world object space to world space or normal space, no world space. And then we pass that value in to here instead of using... But I wonder if I should be actually passing in... So let's first of all get rid of this. Actually, no matter what, like we still should be seeing that ridge here. So how we have this UV, which is I.UV, which we're getting this I from the V2F structure. Do we assign the UV in the V2F? Maybe that's the issue. Yeah, we don't do that. No, we do. We have this UV transformed, v.uv.transformed. Out of curiosity, if I do this, yeah, we're gonna get that stretched thing. We don't want that. And that's not going to produce what I want anyways. Smooth Spike, hi, I'm a great fan of your work, dude. Thanks, man. I mean, I wish I had more, like some actual work to show off. I feel like I've started so many projects but never finished any of them. We're trying to change that here. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you. After moving stuff for this, one wouldn't open because it had non-English character in the path name. Akina, oh my goodness, that's crazy. What's up, crazy horse? Shaders are fun, ZK. They're my favorite. Yeah, isn't that supposed to be the thing that Docker's supposed to fix? He suggests me a best way to learn Unity program. Just to work on projects, man. That's the only thing I can really say. Like, you can, like, as you work on projects and face problems that you haven't encountered before, you're gonna start Googling, and that's gonna be what ends up. Okay, we're getting lit now. I wonder why we had but yeah, that's just how you're gonna learn. Like, as you start tackling stuff and trying to make a game you want to make, you're gonna start having more guided questions. I did use Godot. I don't like Godot. In fact, this whole video here is from Godot. And yeah, I mean, I tried it. It's not a bad engine. It's just not for me. I don't. There's quite a lot of things I don't like. Nah, it's all right. I'm not gonna. I don't yuck on other people's yum. There's a lot of people who like Godot, and I totally get it. It's just not for me. The day I switch engine, it's gonna be to my own engine, not another off-the-shelf engine. Float for world normal. I'm sorry. Okay, that's okay. So there's something being weird caused by the not flipping. And I'm trying to understand why I did this normal map flip, where everything stays here correct, but then we had this magnitude be flipped in the opposite direction. Why we go from having it face this way to facing that way. And what may or may not be, like, requiring that assumption to work. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put this closer so I don't have to keep going around. Roblox using Lua is the best engine. Hey, man. If that's what gets you excited for deving, then by all means, man. Come on. Okay, so this is looking correct now. I don't know why. There's something very wrong happening here. There's something very wrong happening here. Or I've implemented something in a very dumb way, which can very likely be the case. The other big keyboard, I don't have it today, motivational. I'll do it bring it back eventually, but I want to have a little easier time with my fingers, my fingies. And regardless, this is still going to be weird, because yeah, we were doing this inversion on this, or maybe I'm just not going to get the right value here, because let me undo that multiplication so I can actually see the value displayed on here. So even with that inversion, it's still not gonna produce. It's all on the blue channel too. We're unflipping the flip. Oh, let's actually do the world normal too while we're at it. That's what I'm more curious about. And everything's just black there. And I think because the value range here is also... Yeah, we have to like... To actually display things on the RGB, we're going to have to do things a little bit different. So we're going to have to do like... Yeah, we're going to do this like this. So you have to do... In fact, did I do this calculation here? Yeah, sampled... Huh? Wait, 1 second. Convert component values from 0, 1 to negative... Oh, that's from sampling from a texture map. That's why. Okay. No, we're not doing that. Times 0.5 plus 0.5. So you go from negative 1 to 1 to instead be 0 to 1. We're going to do that for the X and Y components. And as for this component, we're just going to make it be absolute value. And then 1, of course. I'm sorry, why are we mad? Who's mad at who? Oh, because you're supposed to be a float 4. Okay, and instead of doing this whole rigmarole, we're just going to do RGBA. So I can actually see what values are going on here visually. Okay. Again, no distinction here whatsoever on the edges. So what are we doing here on the right? Yeah, these coordinates for up, down, left, right. Okay, that makes sense to me. And then we sample the texture, the alpha value there. And if alpha value is 1 minus... I almost want to open up Messy Mansion and look at the code real quick. If I'm going to be real with you. Because that's a project I know that the shaders work as intended. So I think I'm going to go check there and see how this works and kind of go backwards to see what it's doing versus what I'm doing. Yeah, a month ago. Are you doing live only in YouTube or doing it live in other platforms? Not just YouTube right now. I was considering maybe doing Twitch again, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm in college for game development, for game programming and development. I just passed my Python class. I started JavaScript in the, I'm sure C# or C++ will be next sometime next year. Okay, let's go. It totally looks like a completely different language to me. I've really only learned Lua and Python. I need to start practicing C# and messing with Unity. Yeah, that's going to be good. Yeah, any statically typed language is the way to go. Maybe not any, but static typing is super duper important. Okay, I wanted to see the lighting. Let me see. Yeah, so we have the rim lighting working correctly here with point lights to boot. So why is this working fine? Let's look at our player in game. We have our rim lighting that working the way we want to. If we go into the shader, where's the sprite? Sprite. Wait a sec, is this using? No shot, it's not using this. I can change this to be none and it'll be fine. Yeah, it's working fine. Yeah, I know for a fact no, I didn't mean to get rid of that. Oh, whatever, I know it works. So, what am I doing? This is using what? What shader are we using here? The cozy sprite. Should I just change? If I change this to be cozy sprite instead of using the custom FNF thing, will all my problems go away? That's like the real question here. I mean, I've done some changes to the lighting model though that might also be weird, but I don't think it should affect it that drastically. If I change this to use cozy sprite, oh, I don't even have that in this project. I think that's why okay, that's why we made this custom one. Yeah. Okay, so we edit this and look at both of them and compare. Let's see what goes on here. I use A Sprite to make the all my sprites. Yeah, A Sprite's my my program of choice when it comes to pixel arting. So we have this whole thing. We have the similar thing going on here of like, in fact, let's just go line by line. In fact, let's just do this. Yeah, everything's the same here largely. Do I actually like this? No, I'm gonna put it like here so I can go back and forth between them. Yeah, that seems fine for me. Cell count, okay, cool. Go down to this function. Identical here. Identical. Here's where things start changing. Actually, not really. Go down further. Object world. Luminescence, same initial values. And we get to our light processing functions, which happens after this. Identical as well. Okay. I'm feeling less crazy. Light color. Same thing, same lerp. And then we return lit color. And then we have a commented out fog. So let's go to the vertex and see if there's something weird that we do here. So yeah, we do the PS1 snapping thing in the other one, but we don't do that here, and that's fine because we don't need to do that. We just call the function. Okay. I feel less crazy. I feel so less crazy. I feel so not crazy. Oh my goodness, this is kind of validating. So we're good as far as this shader is concerned. So I think the contract that's being violated isn't this shader, but rather the changes I did to the lighting pipeline to fix some other issues. So let's think about this. So it's gonna be somewhere in these functions here within the, particularly the light process. Because we're passing in the normal here. So let's follow this breadcrumb trail. So we have and then we have our type, we do a switch state case statement. Let's just go to the point process and we pass in world normal. So we don't even pass in the structure. We're passing in the explicit values here anyways. Okay, perfect. So we go into here and then we start doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, which is all the math to calculate if something's lit or not, which is, you know, pretty trivial. And I don't think I've touched this in this project at all. what I'm planning to do. Do pancakes. Pancakes sound nicer. All good. Hola, tune. That's what old projects are for, so you can steal code from it. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Okay. So I feel incredibly validated that I'm not crazy. This should just work. I'm wondering if, like... Because even that little demo from the game, you saw that it was a point light that was working there. A point light was doing the thing. You had a point light. And that's a precise kind of point light that should be causing the kind of shading we're looking for in this game. A free platform for pixel art, you could just try Libra Sprite. It's a free version of A-Sprite. A-Sprite has a bunch of old versions of their application for free. So that's something. Okay, let's try something. Does this light source have to be at an angle, maybe? I mean, that would be dumb, but... Yeah, I never know. Oh, did I never... No, I think I saved it. It should be here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's try having this be situated above the player a little bit. Okay. Let's go to the scene, and then let's do local space. If I were to move you back down, yeah, it's either lit or not lit. That's like the two things you have going on here. Okay. So this totally has to have something to do with yeah, it has something to do with our lighting model. Either we're either compositing things, or because we did a fix for some of the stuff here. I didn't mean to move you like that, game. Go back. So, at what level could this be wrong? That's the question I'm asking. At what level? Because here, we're not seeing the offset here. In fact, let me even try this. Let me yoink this piece of code and try it in Messy Mansion. Hopefully you can paste across. It does paste across instances of applications. Let's go. Okay, so before we get to our lighting models, let's just paste this here. And then in the game, it's going to back to Messy Mansion. Where's Messy Mansion? Where's that game? Did I close it? No, here we are. Okay, I think I have to actually re-import. Actually, no, I just changed the shader. I don't have to complete domain. Come on. Do me the thing, dog. Do me a solid. I want... Okay. So first of all, this isn't... So we see this here, right? I have modified... Oh, we haven't returned this, though. Save it. Go back here to this application. Okay. It's shaded funny, and that's because in the shader, we're still doing this. Yeah, when instead we need to be doing this. Oh my goodness. Okay. You're not happy. I can see that you're not happy. Why are you not happy? Oh, is it because we have the multiple return statements back here? It's okay. That's not real. That can't hurt you. Oh, we have this too. And we have this, actually. There's actually a lot of things going wrong here. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so you can see the normal. You can see where the normals are not the same. You can see the normals where they're on the surface, on the side, all that business. So this is correct. This is working exactly as intended. So there's actually, I think there is something different between our shaders, because when we do that in our application, we're not getting that effect. When we do it in Messy Mansion, it's working as expected. So there's something going wrong here. There's something off and not right here. There's something very fishy afoot here about how we do stuff. Because I can even modify in Messy Mansion's code. I can change the pixel distance from 2 to like 4 or 5. And you're going to see that be reflected. Oh, wait a second. You're not seeing it reflected. Is it too big? Oh, no, you see it reflected. Never mind. Yeah, you see it reflected here, right? Which, by the way, that looks really cool, actually. But yeah, you see it reflected here. The size changes and varies. So, yes, this should be happening within our fight and flight codes. There's something not right here. There's something fishy afoot. Because we're not getting that behavior. And that's something not tied to the cozy cabin, like the lighting model at all. That's something entirely localized within this function. But when I go back and forth, aside from that pixel distance value, everything appears to be the same. The only thing I can think that's weird is maybe the I.UV. But no, that's tied to the V2F. And we saw that the V2F is also the same. Is the actual logic here the same? 1 x comp equals x equals 1 minus, yeah. Literally nothing changes here. Okay. Let's go back to the normal value remap. Again, x comp and y comp directly. 1 value for the z value. Okay. We do this flip on the z. I'm not sure why we do that. Should probably look into that. But we know it works in the other application. These are producing different values. So let me check something real quick. Because one other consideration is maybe the pixel, like this is upscaled. That would be weird and dumb. But let's just cross it off as we go through this murder mystery of fun. Are you upscaled? No, you're not. You're exactly what you're supposed to be. 128 by 64. Hi, why 3 weeks? Because why not? Where am I? It's fun. It's an arbitrary restriction, and it's enough to get me to at least try to get something done within a short period of time. And I think I need something like that just to get a game done and finished. Different game? That does look cool. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're working on it. I'm trying to make this look good. I wonder, is it, I wonder if, because I didn't apply a pixel sprite thing to it. And I hope that's not the issue. But let me, because we have this for player idle. That's a 2. Yeah, this should have the thing applied. Alpha is transparency. Yeah, we're not generating bitmaps. Like, I wonder if there's like if maybe I'm just not applying something. But this is perplexing. Thank you, SharkZoo. See, there's a flat image. We're not getting the angles, the odd the edge things that we got in the other in Messy Mansion. In comparison, which is very strange. It's very, very strange. And the fact that we're going between the two codes, and it's not only that they're different. It's not only that they're the same, but it's also not even. It's all localized within this function. It's not like there's something else happening in another part of the application that's causing this to happen. We're testing a very specific part of this shader code, and we're not seeing the stuff. We're not seeing the goods. Unless I need to refresh a shader, but I doubt. I don't have to re-import it directly. At least I shouldn't have to. Yeah, nothing there. Let me go into the actual. Okay, FNF. Is this standard? Is that what I call that shader? That's dumb. Yeah, FNF standard. Okay, even though it's for sprite specifically, but okay, we're just gonna rock with it. Let's re-import. Yeah, it's not gonna do anything. Oh, dude, this is so weird. This is so odd. What's the game about? It's just a game where you're racing. Kind of like an endless runner type situation. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Where am I? But as you can see, like, through every single step, the only thing that could be different would be in the vertex or even the V2F structure. Like, let me make sure the V2Fs are the same. Yep, same. What about the app data? Same. Okay, let's go down to the vertex function. I think there's only one thing that's changed there, and that's not relevant, which is assigning the PS1 vertex snapping thing, which I have it commented out because we're not doing that. And even then, it would only produce a vertex approximately equal to the current vertex. If there's any issues there, you'd see it with yeah, so that's not going to produce anything of change except minor variations within it. Hey Cozy, what's up, Kelvin? Shaders my favorite. I love shaders. Usually it's super simple. I don't know why we're having a weird time with this one. But you're a man who must love your shaders. I've seen your work, dude, on the Discord. It's super sick, man. Your game is coming together really nice. I love the persona pause menu you got going on too. I love that kind of sauce. Okay. We're assigning tangent. I feel like this wants me to think I'm crazy, and I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. I refuse to believe that I'm crazy. And provide the I from the input, which makes perfect sense. So the only thing I think about is these properties here that might be weird. Because within here, we don't define these properties. In fact, we have these properties explicitly set. We have like, yeah, calc UV off. Oh, I have it off? Wait a second. Per pixel on, no shadows. Oh my goodness. Is it literally? I'm not seeing the thing. I was hoping that maybe that was just the case, that we just had the wrong directive in use, which even then it would still happen, but yeah, no. This only has a calculate UV on. We also have come on. Get on domain, do your thing. That's not it. That's not the thing. Darn you, Dinkelberg. And that wouldn't affect anything too, because we have the code path explicitly there. Okay. Okay. So the one thing that I thought could have been the difference, could have been the change, was not it. Anything else? It's opaque. We have a normal defined here, but we're not even using that. We should also use the cozy light thing. That's a minor thing. That's not going to change. That's not going to change how this fundamentally works. Brother. Okay, cozy light vertex. This is gonna change depending if we're doing per pixel on, but we know what function we're doing, so we can just do. I don't think we're ever gonna do this not per pixel lighting. Like, that's kind of the whole point of this, right? The same way we have like the specific fragment shader that we're using. Let me see something. Let me get rid of this. Okay, it's nice to see a character again. Are we getting any weird behavior? Not weird behavior, but any of the behavior we're desiring to see before? Not really.
We should probably also reintroduce those pragmas because they are. Did I just I'm pretty sure yeah, we changed the vertex shader. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, we still need to have these multi-compile thing flags on. Fact. And we're also going to use Notion. Actually, we could keep it like this, honestly. Also, do I need to do that? No, I think they're defined that way. Mix config data and code. Yep. Let's go to the top. Yeah, these things. And we're using... These are shader features that are defined. And... they're used throughout. But yeah, nothing has really changed. Okay, go back here. We introduced. Okay, that's a messy mansion. I was like, wait, what did I? Okay, no. We're not that bad. We're not that bad yet. Here, we're gonna reintroduce this. It's fine, Oleg. The screens are not the problem. Let me think though. If it's not this. Come on, recompile. Is there an issue with the shader? Nope, that's from game input. Who cares? Who cares? Dude, this is actually super weird. I feel like stumped. Like, I feel like it's something that's not even in the script. It's like some weird Unity thing that's going on here. That's causing this. Like, honestly, like, let me just save this project and then quit. Let's just reopen it. Let's reopen it. Go from there. Yeah, here we go. Do you think it's good to build native apps, not games and game engines? Are there advantages instead of working with GUI tools? I mean, there's the advantage that you're going to have an actually fast and responsive application. It feels like so many apps that are not natively built are so laggy and just bad. And yeah, you can like do things you can try to remove some abstractions, like even just using, you can make JavaScript still feel responsive. It's just that there's like so many layers upon layers. I'm thinking about reactive apps though. You're talking about just frameworks in general. Like, well, what's something else that isn't bad? Like Qt has like its own file format definition, and then you have per platform representations of that. I guess that could be fine. I still feel very nice. Let's just press play and see what happens. Yeah, I think that's why my brain always goes to like React, like native, or like electronic apps. But there's a world that exists that isn't that. Yeah, in that sense, I don't know enough to really give an opinion about it. Come on, we're still having the thing. I wonder if I change the build settings to like this. Do things change? I don't think they will. They shouldn't. But like, my goodness, that'd freak me out. Let me think. Cause we're using the alpha channel. Maybe it's an issue with the texture. Maybe it's the issue with the texture where it's not alpha values or a 0 alpha value for some reason. Like it's close but not 0. Yeah, we're having the same thing. So that was a dumb guess. Switch back to this. I wonder though, like let me open up that texture once more and actually look at the value, like sample some of the empty pixels. Or I can even just change the threshold. Oh, no, there's no threshold though. You're just directly accessing the value. Where is the Here we go. Here's a sprite. Are you perfectly transparent? Yeah, you're all 0, 0, 0s. That's exactly what I would expect from the PNG. Let's see if Unity's doing something odd with it. I said alpha is transparency, and that's yes. That should be correct. sRGB color texture. Alpha source. Input texture alpha. Yep. There is that. And then the swizzle is RGBA. So that should be good. Maybe do I need to write? Is there? Let me check the textures here to see if there's a specific setting. Is there? Where is his sprites? I know his sprites are somewhere here. Dudesky, sprite states. Sprite states. My goodness, I'm gonna lose it. Okay. Idle. That's a normal. Okay, here we have this, and yeah, that's just the, yeah, no, nothing crazy. It's the same exact thing. 0 sRGB, input texture alpha, default 2D, repeat point no filter. What are we doing here? Are we doing repeat point no filter? Yep. Default 2D. Yeah. Everything seems to check out. Everything appears to be in order, officer. No weird stuff here, no overrides. What's going on here? Quite a few game engines focus on 2D performance, would be very performant UI framework. However, they're not particularly built to make applications. So things like async tasks, like reading files, won't come easy. Okay, making API framework, making an app framework, and a game engine are two completely different problems. Yeah, managing state's different. But I mean, like, for any language, the stuff that deals with asynchronous behaviors and things like that usually exists as long as you're using a standard like language like C++ or C# or something. Like C# has .NET, and then C++ has the wide variety of different things that exist. I imagine for Java too. So like you can get like reactive extensions that handle asynchronous behavior in C++ and deal with it in this largely the same way as you deal with it in C# or even in Rust, right? Like that, the paradigms are independent of language, and that's usually the big fundamental stuff that handles a lot of that not weird stuff, but the stuff that's much more specific at dealing with application level, application specific state management issues. It's showing these values here. I don't trust them. Read write. I feel like I'm crazy. Maybe because this has no sprite attached to it. Like that's a shot in the dark, but I'm like, all right, maybe there's something's going wrong with assignment. Yeah, nothing. I'm at a loss for words, man. I am at a loss. A loss. Frame count 2, cell count 2, 1 on a Y. I feel like I've exhausted all the different possibilities of what could be going wrong here. 1 second. Filter mode. Yeah, point no filter. Wrap mode. Repeat. Yeah. Yeah. Brother. This is like the dumbest waste of time, man. Because this is like supposed to behave the way it's supposed to behave. Unless, like, I don't know. Is there something wrong with the actual geometry? But no, the issue is coming from here, from our sampling. Because the texture that's being produced does not have that. Like the color is generated here from world normal is not indicating that there's any offsets from alpha detection or from the alpha test, which means that there's some that either these are all detecting alpha and there's nothing happening, or I think that's what we need to debug, is specifically what's going on here. So if it's an issue with the main text, then okay, we have to deal with that. We're gonna at least isolate it outside of the shader. It's not a shader thing, it's something in there. But if it's not that, then there's something odd with the data that's being provided to the shader. There's some, you know what would be the issue is if this value we're getting from the uniform, this pixel width and height are never being set. That would cause that issue to happen, I would imagine. So I should test to see if this value is being set on runtime. I need to check for that to see if the sprite player is passing these values in. That would actually probably be the case, or the cause of this. That's the only thing that I can think of that will be the cause of this issue. So if we go to, let's say, the player, and let's look at the sprite the hierarchy, the game object hierarchy, where the sprite is. And we have a mesh render, we have the quad mesh filter, we have our CC sprite renderer, and it has a scriptable object on it. And then in here, we should be getting on awake, get component renderer. Yeah. We check to see if there's anything null here. That's good. Then we produce a new animated material. If there's a random thing, we'll do that. And then animated material, set sprite. I think that's what's happening. I think we're not actually sending the because we call this set sprite function, and it goes in here and it sets these different keywords. And not only does it set keywords, it should also pass in information about the sprite. So like its count, yeah, here we go, set pixel height, width, count, etc. So I'm willing to bet that this isn't being called at all in our application. So on awake, not only do we do this, we need to actually set sprite to be the current one that's assigned. So these values can be passed in. Oh my god, this is gonna be so dumb if that's the case. But actually, that logically should be the only thing. The only thing that's causing this issue. So let's recompile. And I think we figured it. I think this should be it. I think we have found the problem. And if this is not the problem, then brother, that's GG. See, I'm gonna cancel this game right here because we don't get the thing looking the way we want it to. Is it not? I can't tell. Let me make the offset bigger. Let me set it to be, yeah, pixel distance is like 3, is like 4. Okay, let's make it ridiculous. Let's make it like 8. Oh, brother. You know, I'm still willing to bet that that's the issue. Let me see if maybe just calling it from that function is not gonna fix things. There's a don't destroying load. There's no exceptions happening. And this is the thing that's rendering the sprite. Pretty sure about that. If I were to disable it, nothing's visible. So yeah, that is a thing disabling the sprite. We have the correct thing. We're calling set sprite now. We create a new animated material. And we start off with a sprite assigned. Though honestly, if I want to be certain, let me do something. Within the player script, let me do this on awake, or maybe on start. Yeah, on start. Let's first actually get some I'm gonna design this better, but for right now, do I have access to the sprite renderer? I don't. Okay, so we have to have the renderer, and then we also need to have the CC. I forgot what I call it. Is this just called a sprite binder? Yeah, sprite binder. And on start, sprite binder. Honestly, we don't need to do all this. I mean, we're gonna have to do it eventually, but within here, within the this function here, cc sprite render. We call set sprite. There's no errors are there in here. Honestly, on here, do we? Oh, we call set sprite from here. Anyway, so that's kind of redundant. And then, so something interesting here is happening here. So if the main texture is null or sprite.main name is not equal to target material main texture. Why is this the case? Why do we check for that? If sprite.main.name is not equal to the target material main texture.name. That's weird. Let me get rid of this. Maybe that's what's causing issues. And then we get rid of this because we're calling that anyways. And then re-import, and then we're gonna press play. What's up, Alongo? What's up, J Dolo? Editing the wrong project shader? No, this should be the correct one. Unless you're talking about... Yeah, this is the same right now. No, this is the light model. I'm looking for this one here. Yeah, okay, you're right. I was editing this one's pixel distance. Good call. Okay. So now we can press play. Let's see here. Any errors? Any exceptions are we encountering? Nope, exceptions. And that's for something else. Okay, let me check something too. Is our sprite... Yep, it's only one material shelf. We're using this material here. Yeah. Let me check something actually. Let's inspect this. Let me go into debug mode and actually look at the individual values to see if our values are being passed in here. Oh, sorry, what? Bump scale, okay. No shadows, okay. What are our integers? 0 ints. So the integers are not being passed in. Interesting. Interesting. So, in fact, let me check to make sure. I think we're getting to this. So yeah, we have our integers, 4 integers here. X cell count, Y cell count, pixel width, pixel height. And when we look at the actual properties here, we're not seeing any of these integers at all. Now I know Unity does a thing where they used to back integers by a float, but even here I'm not seeing these variables or these uniforms pop it in. So it seems to me like we're not actually setting these values. And that only happens if within our animated material thing here, if target material main texture is equal to null, because we removed this condition. And now this is being used as set sprite function. So, okay, our target material, if the main texture isn't null, we don't do this. Is that the case in our application? When you go to the player sprite, and we have this. Is our main texture main text? So it's set, but I wonder if accessing, in fact, where is target material set? That's an interesting question, because maybe target material is just null, but then you'd get an exception for trying to access the value from that null thing. So okay, let's go through the steps again. Awake, get component renderer. Doesn't matter if it's a mesh renderer or whatever kind of renderer. And do we have, let's make sure I don't have multiple renderers on here. Like there's only one mesh render component on this, right? Mesh renderer, 2 colliders, 1 rigid body, a trigger collider events. Yeah, but nothing else. Okay. So far, so good. And then in the renderer, you have this. She has good ECS library. I forgot the name, but it's well liked. I heard someone asked on the Rust subreddit about using Bevy from C. Interesting. Unless you put the int in the properties at the top of the shader, it's not shown there, but it's still set under the hood. Yeah, that's the thing though. It should exist under the hood. Like in Messy Mansion, we're doing it that way. That would be dumb if I have to make it a Unity property. Because in the other game, in Messy Mansion, we don't do that. Just having it be here means that the uniform exists. Am I gonna have to actually make these properties? Just for and even then they're not being set. You should be able to set them directly from the instance. Yeah, like over here we're not doing that. So in here, let's follow the logic. Render. And we have warnings if any of these things are null. The render, the transform, the sprite. And then we make a new anime material. We pass in the render dot material, so we access the material directly from there. And then from here we do target material equals, okay, the material that's provided. And we get the values from our sprite binder, yeah. Sprite speed. Parent transform, okay, all this is correct so far. Set sprite, we pass in the sprite information from here, and so we do target material at main text. Let me be like super duper secure and access main text, because maybe, just maybe, I spelled things wrong. Main text. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm pretty sure this is how it looks like. But you know what? Let's just be ultra secure. Main text. Main text. Get texture. This. In fact, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Because even if the main texture is null, I still want to set these properties. I still want to set these. I want to say I don't even care. We're going to do this regardless. These are non-negotiables. And these are all correct name. Did I change the names of these at all? X cell count. If I go here, I didn't do any cheeky renaming. Capital X cell count. Yeah, there's all, yeah, this is all correct. 1 second. Yeah, no, these are correct. Okay, let's just see if this changes things. I should probably also I should probably recompile first. Yeah, you already know, Jacoby. For int properties, which are actually float, set integer is the newer one for integer properties. Yeah. So set int is actually going to be ooh. So set int is going to be setting floats, and set integer is going to be setting the actual integer values. Let's see if that bites me in the butt. Let's see if that causes any pain and or discomfort. Well, let's first recompile domain. Reloading domain. No, it works. So it set integer or set int, it wasn't an issue. It was literally the fact that this texture is being bypassed at some point. I don't know why that's causing an issue. I don't know why, but whatever. I don't care. I'm just happy. So we can go here. Yes, finally. I don't know what specific edge case I was covering. I need to document things better. But I can get rid of this function and reload. Reload. Oh, I was in Messy Mansion. Go back here. Yeah, here. And get rid of the RGB. Let me be happy again. Okay, and we're gonna have our cool. You can't be doing this to me. We have the normals. The normals are correct now. You can't get away with it. We have this sprite. We have this light. That's here. That should be bright. Blindingly bright. With a big intensity value. And yet, what do we see? Nothing. Okay, let's see one thing. Let me enable some of these. Maybe this will just cause all these problems to go away. That's what I'm hoping. But I'm not quite seeing that effect happen. Per pixel on. In fact, let's just do. Bring these toggles back in. It's not gonna do anything, but I like to pretend it's gonna do something. Okay, let me, now that we have this working though, let's everything's correct. Let me do things. Where's the vertex? Per pixel lighting, vertex. Yep, that's exactly what you want. Brother. If normals don't feel normal today, I guess not, man. I guess normals are just making me feel unnormal. Subnormal. Anti-normal, if you will. Wait a second. Does that look like it's doing the thing? Okay, 1 second. Let's make this more pronounced, or more, instead of having this humongous radius, let's make this like 3, so it's much more subtle. You saw that, right? Like, only the top. I think it was doing the thing for a second. If I change this back to the ridiculous size of 8. Okay, you know what, maybe if we had sprite changing, I think, oh, you know what? We can't make changes to the shader on runtime because then the shader values are set to 0 and you have to actually force the sprite change to happen so the values can be re-added to those uniform properties. But yeah, you see it? It's happening! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Let's freaking go. This actually looks pretty good now, right? You see this? The character actually looks lit. As if like there's a sunlight hitting her from above. And then the bottom's getting lit. From being on... Let's freaking go. Let's go. We got it. We got it. Oh, we so got it. Oh, brother. That was a whole thing. But oh, look, we have the character actually looking pretty cool. And we can start working on the animation and the character stuff. Dude, the environment's actually, the new camera angle looks so much better. I think I like this fusion of 3D and like just a 2D shell, kind of obfuscating some stuff. I think this is gonna be the move. That way you don't have to make that many assets and I can still make stuff. Maybe the scale you have here is fine. Yeah, this looks so much better without the stupid grid. I'm very happy with this. I feel way happier with this. As well, independent light sources, environment light sources. No, the cubes are just, they don't have any material applied to them. So they're using Unity's default material, but since we have our own lighting model that isn't using Unity's lighting model, it just appears unlit because since there's no light source, it's just gonna be the max light as if it's emissive. That's not the goal. That's not the desired look. We're gonna actually have materials there and some cool light sources here, but to make the environments look cooler, but hey, this works pretty well. I wonder if the depth test is going to work with the shells we have here, since I'm not seeing the cast shadows projected on from this. Like here, there should be, oh, I think I do see them actually happening. Okay, so there is some depth. Yeah, there is some, they are being included into the depth map. I just need to update them. Yeah, thank you, Z-Man. I'm so freaking happy right now, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was like struggling these past week. Like, okay, this game doesn't feel right. It doesn't look good. It's not what I was looking for. I couldn't figure it out. But now this is actually looking good. This is looking good. The camera angle, the presentation, I think this, no stupid grid in the way. This just is just operating. And now we just have to do the character independent animations and all that kind of stuff. I took some days off from work. So I think Monday and Tuesday, I'm gonna treat it like an actual office day job thing, where instead of my normal job, I'm actually clocking in here. I'm actually clocking in here to get some work done, dude. That's gonna be fun. They use Unity plus ECS cache locality optimizations for network simulations, and they have beaten specific frontier apps like Omnet and NS3. Interesting. I like to see the specifics of how they set that up, though. So that's kind of one of the things I wanted to do with my engine, with the engines I've worked on, is just optimize for cache coherency. Look at this character, like look at this, look at the character as they change light, as they change. Like this is so this looks so freaking cool, man. Now, for network simulations, I'm kind of curious as to what you mean by that, or what they mean. That's the way to do it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right, we're going to have to separate the player sprite from the vehicle sprite. Like, look at this. Like, you can see the bottoms illuminated. This is everything I wanted from my lighting model. And then, like, the cool thing is the cache shadows are going to be baked into the environment, so that they're not calculated on runtime. It's just calculate it once in editor, and then it's set and done. And then, I mean, it looks like trash right now, but you get the idea. So each one of these can have their own cache shadow map baked into it, and then just load it in, and it's good to go. I'm so excited, man. Especially like when you have like light sources down here illuminating some of the areas that are like shelled off. It's just gonna look so freaking cool. All right, trying to make some UI and enemies. Probably not gonna do that tonight. It's already 3 a.m., but I'm actually so freaking happy right now, dude. I'm so freaking happy. Let's go to yeah. Let's commit all these changes. We finally got to the crux of the issue, which wasn't the shader or my lighting pipeline, my custom lighting pipeline. I'm so happy. It's like it wasn't my fault. I mean, it was my fault, but it was like not the big complex thing. The big complex thing is actually good. It was just this simple little component that I added on there. Fixed lighting and new fixed lighting, level shader, and joystick. We got a lot done, actually, weirdly enough, today. We had the joystick added, and fixed lighting, level shader, joystick, and new camera. Oh yeah, we have to push to Berg because I'm not using GitHub anymore. I'm using Codeberg because I'm so cool. Heck yeah. And it's going to push to Discord, so you guys are going to see the update, which, by the way, we have a Discord, guys. Let's see here. I didn't get the notification. There we go. Fix lighting, level shader. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Oh my goodness. I think we actually can get a not a game done in 3 weeks, but a decent, fun game. This is so exciting. I can't believe it. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was like, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do it. Thank you, TSD. Let's go. I was like, I'm not sure if we're gonna make it, man. I feel a little stressed, but it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Oh my goodness. Am I a hacker? Sad. I mean, in the classic definition, I guess so. In the more recent idea, no, not really. Oh, I'm so freaking happy, man. You don't even understand it, dude. You don't even understand. It's like I have life again. I was in bed last night. I was like, I can't do it. I was thinking today, and I was going to bed. I was like, I don't think I can do it, dog. I don't think I got it in me. We got it. Make a chess spot? Nah. No. I will make a game where you play chess, but the other person gets to play poker. And if you lose, you die in real life. You have to use that headset, that VR headset that Oculus dude was making that has like a little bunch of guns strapped to it. So like, if you die in the game, you die in real life. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. We have like this area where, is there something else causing cast shadows to happen? Is that what's going on here? 1 second. If I get rid of this, okay, this looks normal. The atmosphere was causing the issues here. No, the atmosphere wasn't the problem. Something else is causing some issues. Or my math is wrong. My logic, my maths, my graphs, my formulas are just wrong. In which case, I don't know how to deal with that. That's an emotional blow. Yeah, I don't see any other objects that could be causing that cached. Unless it's like, wait, is it you? Are you the problem? No, that's a vertical thing though. That wouldn't cause that. Where's my light? Where's my light source? I believe I have my light system here, and I have my sun here, and you're doing something. You're doing something funny. Intensity, texture resolution. Yeah, it's a ridiculous size for that. Yeah, I had a vision for this, but I think I might have to change how we do the cast shadows to be more in line with just normal implementations. I don't know. We'll think about this. We'll think about this. I'm not going to worry about that now. I'm just so happy. We have a game. We have a game! I almost want to see if I can play around with the camera, where like as the faster you go, the bigger the FOV, so it feels like you're going faster. But that usually works better in like games where you're behind the character or sharing their same eyesight. But I'm not sure if it's gonna work well in this kind of context. I don't know. We'll see. I want more tamales. I want to get some food now. That sounds good. I meant land simulation, like internet network. Oh. Got you. He makes roast chicken pot. What's going on, dual PTD? Transparency issues? No, it's skill issues on my part. We'll deal with them later. We will deal with said skill issues later. Yeah, we don't need you. Get out. Delete cube. And then we have a bunch of... Are these light sources? How many light sources do we have? I don't know. We'll deal with this later. I'm just happy, dude. I'm just excited. I'm just excited. That's all I can say. And then we need to start working on the oh, there's so much content stuff. I still need to fix the game board stuff because the game board is not behaving as I want it to. Like, we have this whole model thing, and we have this whole, like, board chunk size and height and length. Wait, what? Wait. Oh, that's the length for the cell. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I need to think about this. I need to think this through. Cause things have changed now with the increased radius size. Things have changed quite a bit, and there's significantly more objects spawn within a shorter length of X. So yeah, I need to start doing the recycling thing now, or ASAP, and then we should start making some visuals for this stuff, like the pickups. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna start doing more presentation stuff and making this game actually feel fun. We also have to do audio. That's gonna be fun. I almost feel like I'm tempted to use FMOD, but I think we're gonna try just doing our own audio, and it should be simple and easy and fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been about, how long has it been? About 3 hours and 57 minutes. I think we got quite a lot done for this day of work. So I'm gonna just chill. I'll probably do some work on my laptop after stream, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your company. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. And if always, if you want to see more stuff like this, you can join the Discord, or if you have questions about game deving or whatnot, just feel free to post there, or if you want to show off your cool stuff, it's all there. And with that, I'll be seeing you guys next time. Until then, God bless and stay cozy. Ta-ta.